Hello, everyone. I am live. Some stuff came out that I want to react to, so let's do that. Share screen. New Joey Carbstrong. Always react to Joey. Gotta react to Joey. What's up, Alicia? Since Joey's such a small channel that nobody knows about, let's make sure we put that up on the screen. Try to help his channel out, you know?
It's okay because I don't like vegetables. Would that be okay? You're trying to escape now. I can feel it. You're trying. What's the time? When I've got somewhere to be. I've sat down with the wrong guy.
Yeah, I am actually.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Hello.
My interview that went afoul. Well, you'll see. It's a doozy. I don't want to give it away, but I would say that I'd feel very embarrassed if I was the other person. And I thought about not even putting it out, but yeah, I have this thing where if I've spent time on something, I want to get it out there, but yeah, this one I really debated not. But it's set to go. I've uploaded it and it's set to publish tomorrow.
Come and tell me. Come and tell me. Here.
Why is there nothing wrong with that?
What's up, Felix? I think you guys will I don't know if you'll like it, but you'll at least be entertained.
Why is there nothing wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to hear my position, and then you can tell me why there is something wrong? Okay.
I hope. Anyway.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with animal cruelty because lions eat meat and because they're not human and also because I don't think they really are all that smart. And so being cruel to them is kind of like just screwing up a bit of paper or something.
And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have many. It's just I don't think there's anything wrong
She's
with
not
it.
impressed. She's like, that's it.
So I'm kind of really neutral about it. I mean, I guess there'd be something wrong with it if they were like your animal and like I was hurting your property or something, but that'd be wrong to you. But for the animal, I don't really care too much about that.
Why? Because they're living things.
Yeah, I don't really care about the fact they're living. I mean, I eat carrots, they're living. I mean,
They're not living. They're not living.
Well, I'd eat an apple off a tree. I mean, I'd cut a tree down.
It's not living, is it?
A tree's living. Yeah, trees.
It's living, but it does have feelings.
Ah, okay. So that's the difference. I say because they have feelings. Okay, yeah, a tree. I don't think a tree has feelings. I don't know if an animal has feelings.
Yeah, Cliff does that.
It's still a living thing.
Cliff Grant. Yeah.
Do you think animals have feelings?
It depends what animal it is.
Okay, which animal?
Dogs, cats. They do.
I'm not sure if any animals have
They
feelings.
do, because I've had dogs, and when I'm upset, my dog sits around me. They feel my feelings, and they know I'm.
Oh, I know Cliff. I know Cliff very well. Well, not very well, but we've had him on Wayne's channel. I think we've done two interviews. Yeah, two interviews with. Is that right? I think just one actually. But I've communicated some with Cliff, and he's a very nice guy, by the way. Very lovely guy. If it does, I mean, it's pretty apparent from his videos, but also he's just really nice. Also, as just a guy.
So they intuitively know when you're upset. I've seen cows go up to people and and do similar behaviors, but you don't think cows have feelings, do you?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Well, they do.
But they do that same thing.
Because when baby lambs are taken away from their mothers,
Yeah.
they have feelings. The mothers have feelings because the lambs are taken. It's their offspring.
I mean, I've seen them do that, but I thought they were just like machines, just not thinking, or just.
It's nature. It's what they do. If your child was taken away from you, you'd be upset.
I would, yeah, because I'm a human.
Yeah.
But I don't know if animals feel like that.
Well, they do because
Okay.
they make the noise when they're young and taken off them.
I've seen them do
And she's like a vegan or something.
that for milk with cows, and they take the calf away or something, and the cow chases the calf. I've seen them do that,
Oh,
but I
nice.
didn't think that they were feeling anything.
And lambs.
And lambs too.
That's it.
Okay.
Well, you're 2 for 2 then. I think I know 2 people from Belfast, and they're both good people. Maybe I know more. I don't know. Do I? Who else? Are there other animal activists from Belfast? I don't know my European cities all that well. UK cities, Scotland cities.
Well, I guess you don't eat those animals then.
I do eat them. Yes, I do eat
Well,
them.
then you believe you.
But-
Hey, no, wait a second. You
Yeah.
think the same thing as the sign then? Because is it cruel to eat a dog? Kill them, like I want to kill them first.
No, because
I take the babies off them first, puppies. I take the puppies off them first, and I kill them. And if I eat them, is it cruel?
it's survival of the fittest.
Oh,
That's the way nature works.
So there's nothing wrong with cruelty to animals if it's
Cruelty, yes. Killing, no. You can kill them. You can kill them humanely.
okay. So is it not cruel to take someone's life from them? Is that a cruel act?
What a human.
I already think it's cruel to do that to a human.
Yeah.
So you're arguing with the wrong person. I'm saying an animal. You told me they're living and they have feelings, correct? So they might want to keep living, correct?
Yeah.
So if they want to keep living, isn't it cruel to kill them? They can't live anymore.
But it's nature. It's survival of the fittest.
Okay.
It's
So
gone on for years and
your
years
dog.
and
What's
years.
your dog's name? Tell me your dog's name.
Prince.
Prince. Okay, what kind of dog is Prince?
French bulldog.
French bulldog. Is it cruel to kill Prince humanely if Prince wants to keep living?
No, because dogs are not animals that we eat.
No, I'm just asking if it's cruel. I'm not asking if we eat them. I'm asking if it's cruel to do that one thing.
well, some people eat dogs.
What, to kill them?
To kill Prince. Listen, if I kill Prince
Yeah.
humanely, like you said, Prince wants to keep living. Is it cruel to end his life against the Prince's wishes? Is that a cruel thing to do?
It depends on if he's ill, then kill him.
I didn't say he's ill. I'm saying he's happy because you believe they have feelings. Is it cruel to kill Prince humanely if he wants to keep living? Is it cruel to kill you humanely if you want to keep living?
No.
It's not cruel to kill you.
Sorry, yeah.
It is cruel to kill you. And you said that animals are kind of like people in the way they have feelings, right?
So, what is your thing about this, like, no fault, like,
This is good. Nice job, Joey. Already. Oh, we're almost done. I thought this was a longer video. Sorry.
okay to be cruel to animals?
My position is because we all kill animals and literally eat them all the time. And I know most people walking past here do the same thing I do. So that's why I'm saying there's nothing wrong with it. Because if there was something wrong with it, we'd all be vegetarians or whatever the new one is with the, I know the ones that annoying ones. I forgot what they're called.
Vegans.
Vegans. We'd all be vegan.
Vegan.
New one is with the, I know the ones that annoying ones. I forgot what they're called. Vegans.
The annoying
Vegans.
ones, yeah.
We'd all be vegans, apparently. So why aren't you a vegan?
I don't like vegetables.
You don't like vegetables. All right. So, bang. Thank you. There's nothing wrong with being cruel to animals because I don't like vegetables. That's why. Are you happy with that?
No, there's
Wait, I'm just saying.
nothing wrong with killing animals if you're going to
Has she gotten it yet?
eat them.
No. You just said to
I think she gets it.
me, you're not a vegan because you don't like vegetables, right? Vegans are the annoying ones telling us we're being cruel when we eat the milk and the calf get taken. You said when you take
Yeah,
the
but
calf.
yeah, but they're going to extremes. They say things like don't shun a sheep.
All right, we can agree there, right? You need to shear a sheep.
Yeah.
Even the ones in the vegans' houses get haircut every now and then, right? But you were saying that the sheep
Lambs, yeah.
gets their baby lamb taken, and that's bad. You're saying that they get sad because they're maternal or mothers. A vegan will say to you, well, what about the milk? They get the calves taken for the milk, right?
Sorry.
But then if I said that's okay because I don't like vegetables, would that be okay? You're trying to escape now. I can feel it. You tried. What's the time? I've got somewhere to be. I've sat down with the wrong guy.
Yeah, I am actually.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. All I'm saying is, you should be one of them annoying vegans if you think it's wrong to do all the horrible things that happen to animals to get on your plate.
So are you a vegan?
Am I?
Yeah.
Well, why would I be?
No,
I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it's wrong. You would think I was annoying if I was a vegan. I'm just trying to tell you there's nothing wrong
She's
with
like, you're very annoying.
the cruelty.
All right.
Do you agree with me now? Do you agree with me?
Kind of.
You don't. All right, no worries. Bye. Yeah, well, she come down, try to defend the animals. She's going to have to think about all those industries now. The interesting way that humans are against cruelty in specific scenarios until it's time to talk about the animals on their plate or the animal's skin on their shoes. Everyone wants to be against cruelty unless they have to do something about it. She brought up lambs. She eats them. But when it's Prince, don't eat Prince.
Oh, nice video, Joey. As always. I don't know if I've ever seen a video from Joey that wasn't good. Maybe a couple. But he's got a high win streak there. There's that video. Make sure you go give Joey Carbstrong the Jeremy bump so that he doesn't give up. Because, you know, when you have one of those channels that not a lot of people are responding to, then you have this, you know, you might give up. And let's take a look here. I mean, only 336 comments, only 1.6 thousand likes, 172,000 subscribers. I mean, keep at it, Joey. Keep at it. All right. Our good friends Mel and Steve got caught. Let's check it out. I have not seen this. Oh, good timing there, Alicia. Let's oh, is that a different one? Okay, Mel and Steve. Glad they're okay. I agree, Felix. I feel like Joey's the kind of guy who's got a lot of potential. You know.
That's coming closer. Code amber. Code red.
Yeah.
This night did not go to plan. Or maybe it did.
Something happened that we didn't even expect.
Not bad.
So you're supposed
Pretty
to go
close.
to the pig farm? Let's go. All seemed very calm. Until suddenly something startled the pigs at the back.
Code amber. Code amber. Code red.
If those pigs weren't spooked at the back, we would have never have spotted that torch and we would have been caught.
Wow. Yeah, I saw the light. All right. Thank you, Alicia. We'll check that out right after this. That was pretty intense. Saw the light right about there. You could see it. Right there.
Code amber. Code amber.
Yeah.
Code red.
If those pigs weren't spooked at the back, we would have never have spotted that torch and we would have been caught.
Although we were unable to go deep into this farm and film as we intended to, we knew that on the way in, this farm was exactly like all the others that we've been into. Loads of old, dark, dingy sheds with rows and rows and rows of farrowing crates, just like what you can see on the screen right now. With mother sows inside the farrowing crates, unable to turn around and unable to display natural behaviors.
The majority of pigs at 6 months old will face a gas chamber. On the screen, you can see the torch trying to find us.
Right.
We were just hiding in the ditch, trying not to make a noise and trying to control our breathing. When we got communication that the person had gone, we decided that it was too dangerous to go back because they knew we were there. So our next step was to find a way out.
I mean, it's almost like the pigs. I know this probably didn't really happen this way, but it's almost like the pigs saved them.
Although this investigation didn't go to plan, sometimes the universe just puts you in the right place at the right time. And on our exit of the farm through the back fields, we came across a field which was covered in this fog. For some reason, I felt like I had to shine my torch to the left, and as I did, I noticed this kind of odd shape I thought was a rock. And as we walked towards, we realized that there was a sheep dying on their back.
Jesus.
Luckily, we were able to put her back on her feet, and no sooner was she back on her feet than she ran off into the distance.
Of all the fields that we could have accidentally come across, we found her. We don't believe that was a coincidence. Right now, there are billions of animals inside farms, suffering, and inside slaughterhouses, and they need your help. So please help them by living vegan and be a voice for the animals who need us so much.
Wow, what a night. I mean, and it also just to be able to save that sheep, have that experience with the pigs, and then to have filmed it all and get to show the world. Okay, there's that video. Wow. That was pretty powerful. Okay, let's see. Let's check out Alicia's link. So Mel and Steve. Wait, let me get to my 1 hour 26:50. By the way, guys, if you're ever trying to share a video, you can when you click share below a YouTube video, here, let me show you. So right here, if you click share, you can click that start at. So for instance, if we go to there, right? And then we click share, we'll say start at there. And then you click that. And then that will put it in the link so that when I click the link, it will go exactly to the part that you want me to see. But you gave me a time cue. So let me see where the 126:50. Okay. Now let's get the little preamble.
So you have a direct impact.
How you doing, Lewis? Nice to see you. Lewis is here.
There, you can stop paying. No, not vegetarian, vegan. So like I said, like we said, if you pay for dairy and milk and things, animals go to slaughter. So a vegan is somebody who is against the use and exploitation of animals. We don't see them as.
Hello, mate.
Just having a thought. Where the lorries are coming out here because of the overhang from the trailer, to prevent you constantly moving your cameras and potentially moving or backing into something that's coming out, how would you feel about being on that corner there so that the overswing doesn't potentially catch anyone and cause any problems?
Will they let us go on a little bit on that corner there so we're safe from the other traffic? Can we just film this truck to... Thank you.
This is like a smaller farm.
Whoa, Chris, whoa.
Oh my God.
That was so close to you, mate.
The farmers don't care about people. That was well too fast.
That was so close to you, mate.
I hope the police will say something about that. That was terrible.
They probably won't say anything.
Mate, that was so close to him. That was dangerous.
Chris Hines, great activist. Been on my channel. Check out our interview.
Even just
Square
slow
the-
and
Talk about what's important.
even if it's
That
slowing
was really
down.
dangerous. This is why having, like, if they'd allow us a safe space. You see what we want to do? It's literally a film, and then we'll step back. I don't want to talk to any of them today.
Let me go back and see it.
The farmers,
Oh, thank you.
This is like a smaller farm.
Whoa, Chris, whoa.
oh my God.
That was so close to you, mate.
Wow, that person just
Farmers
flew
don't
by
care
them
about
like that.
People, that was well too fast.
That was so close to you, mate.
I hope the police
Couldn't
will
see where Chris was in that video.
say something about that. That was terrible.
They probably won't say anything.
Glad everybody's
Right.
okay.
That was so close to him. That was dangerous.
Even just
Square the-
slow and
Talk about what's important.
even if it's
That
slowing
was really
down.
dangerous.
Y'all know Chris Hines?
Chris.
Here, Chris Hines. He is like a music expert, and he's making a documentary called Taking Note, which is going to be about animal rights and music. Now, there's already this one by Moby that you can watch on YouTube called Punk Rock Vegan Movie, or yeah, I think that's what it's called, Punk Rock Vegan. It's free. You can watch it. That's also really good. But his is going to go beyond punk music to all kinds of music, apparently. And a little jealous because Mel and Steve have seen it, apparently. But I haven't been able to see it. Just saying. You've got my contacts, Chris. I'm just saying. It'd be nice. Speaking of music, I know about the band To the Grave because of Chris Hines telling L Vegan Gays about it. And To the Grave just hours ago put out a new EP called Still Life. And I'm going to link y'all to it because it's on YouTube. Hang on, guys. I got you. I got you. You know I got you guys. I'm going to take care of you guys. Especially if you're mad. Especially if you're feeling angry. And who's not a little angry from time to time, right? Hi, Sally. Okay, there's the brand spanking new To the Grave EP. And by the way, they intersperse footage of Animal Ag in this video, which is kind of badass. I mean, it is badass. I know, Lewis. I know. How else are you going to sharpen those canines? I know.
Even just slow them. Even if
That was really dangerous. This is why having, like, if they'd allow us a safe space. You see what we want to do? It's literally a film, and then we'll step back. I don't want to talk to any of them today, you know. So we want to do it safely. Yeah, that was Derrick-Al. Yeah, that was so. Did you see how close that was to him? That was like you couldn't have fit that.
Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, that was Derrick-Al. Yeah, that was so. Did you see how close that was to him?
It does seem like vehicles are kind of fast on this part of the road right here, like a little faster than they should be, considering there's so many people.
That was like you couldn't have fit that camera between the two.
Like
we won't get a good shot of the animals there.
What the other slaughter, because we go to like to all slaughterhouses. Usually, they just even it's
guys,
like 10 seconds.
That was
just a
so
quick
close.
Stop.
Chris nearly got one over.
They don't even have to stop. Just
that
slow,
was
like,
so close.
Slower.
And they're live. I bet you anything. All the trolls in the comments were like, almost.
I don't know if I caught that at all on the screen, but like
we then don't
couldn't really see it, unfortunately.
I've never seen anyone so close to being hit by a trailer than that just then. That was.
I know this is their land, but like.
Yeah.
It's just a second.
I know, but
in Tank, we're on public property.
Yeah.
We've asked to be off the road. We've asked to be just here. We've literally asked to step there.
Yeah.
But they're saying that we're not allowed to be on there.
Yeah,
so
I
therefore the
just
next available space
safe.
is the public space that we're stood on. But still, being on the road still doesn't give a driver the right to drive at someone and crash into them. It doesn't give them the right to nearly kill someone. What happened was, though, that guy came around the corner. He didn't even realise the police were here. So that guy's now going to be dealt with by the police because he nearly killed Chris.
I jumped out the way and then
so this is how they act and how they respond.
Will they, though?
They think they're going to get away with it.
I was like, oh.
Let's see.
Well, at the end of the day, life is worth more.
To a slaughterhouse. If no, then don't force other animals also. Exactly.
100%.
I don't think anybody would actually, I don't think anyone would force anyone into a slaughterhouse willingly. It's only farmers that do that. But you pay them.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad everybody's okay. Yeah. I know, Sophist. I know, Lewis. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to give those trolls any attention. All right, I have this one pulled up, guys. Fox 6 again. Doing it. They're doing it. Hope I can share this. I feel like we watched one of these before, but it's kind of inconsistent. What can be shown, what can't be shown, that sort of thing. This is one of their like chats. So let me change the playback speed to 1.5, I suppose. And then let's take a look. This is going to be Fox 6 Milwaukee, who have been covering with this Brian Polson guy, Ridgeland Farms, which is one of the two major breeders of beagles for scientific research. They're based in Wisconsin. And the other one is Marshall Bioresources, MBR Acres. We've talked to Camp Beagle, John Curtin in the UK. So they're in the UK, but they also are in New York State. But this is about Ridgeland, the smaller of the two, by the way.
Every year in America,
I mean, it just breaks my heart.
more than 16,000 dogs and cats undergo painful experiments in the name of medical progress.
We don't want our tax dollars being spent to torture pets.
This week on Open Record,
I don't think we should do research on dogs or cats.
a seismic shift
I think it's unconscionable.
from the #1 source of public funds for animal research
I do believe that this is a tipping point.
and the undercover investigation that shows what they're trying to stop.
What's up, Dennis? Nice to see you. Thanks for saying hi and bye. Yeah, where is Mary? Unbelievable that she's not here. Well, we'll have to talk to her about that when she gets here, if she gets here. Okay. Fox 6 News Milwaukee. 6 News.
From the Fox 6 studios, this is Open Record. I'm Brian Polson. Sarah Smith is away this week, but I'm joined by a couple of Open Records regulars here. We have Contact 6's Jenna Sachs. Hello, Jenna.
Hey.
And we have Fox 6's Carl Defenbaugh. Hello, Carl.
Thanks for having me back.
Welcome back to Open Record. We are recording this episode on Wednesday, July 30th. And as we record, we are still waiting to hear from the special prosecutor investigating possible criminal charges against Ridgeland Farms, a commercial dog breeder west of Madison. Sources tell me something could be coming soon, perhaps even yet this week. Not certain, but it's the kind of thing a lot of people are waiting for. In the world of animal research, though, a lot is already happening. Bold new comments recently from the National Institutes of Health, new legislation aimed at protecting dogs and cats from painful experiments, and a newly released.
That's interesting. Brian, who's obviously got its finger on the pulse, says that there could be news this week. The Marty Project just created an Instagram last week and said, stay tuned for big news this week. So I don't know. Are we getting teased a little bit? You teasing us, Brian? Marty Project? I don't like being teased now.
Undercover investigation by PETA involving dogs from Ridgeland Farms here in Wisconsin at a troubled lab in Colorado. We'll talk about all of that and more when we come back after this break.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's the PETA video that Doggo sent me. Maybe I should. Yep, you got timed out. Yep. Lewis got timed out. That's how bad it was. That's how bad your behavior was. How many people have gotten timed out on this channel? Just a small, shameful number of people. Just you're in shameful, the club of shame.
We are back on Open Record. I just want to say one thing, by the way. You notice my voice is really scratchy
Yeah,
right
that's
now?
a little.
We got a lot of talking to do. So
Even Dennis hasn't been timed out. And Dennis follows the carnivore diet. Did y'all know that? Even he hasn't been timed out.
I hope it holds up throughout this whole time. But if you stick around for our off the record segment, you're going to find out why I sound this way.
Okay.
It's not just, a simple cold. There's something more to it, and I'm to blame. But that's something just a plug for later on.
Tease in
That is a
business.
tease. Yeah, stick around for
So you've
Stop
been
teasing me.
talking about Ridgeland Farms for a few months now. Can you give us a little background for those who maybe haven't listened to our prior podcasts on this topic or haven't seen any of your reports on Fox 6?
Yeah, we reported on it a lot, but if you're new to this or if you just want to be caught up to speed, Ridgeland Farms is located about 30 miles west of Madison in Blue Mounds, Wisconsin. They breed beagle puppies for scientific experiments. It's been there since the 1960s. This place has been around a long time. In 2017, activists actually went inside illegally. They got video and they rescued, well, I say illegally. They say it wasn't. They say they were performing a legal rescue.
Right.
Nonetheless, they went in without permission. They got these 3 dogs. They pulled them out. And that was, obviously 8 years ago. But it was only just this last fall when there was, during a criminal investigation that, or a criminal actually prosecution, that the DA dropped the charges against those activists. And that was at the behest of Ridgeland Farms, who said, let's just drop the whole.
Yep, we were there. We were ready. It was, I was woken up to, I believe, one of our lawyers yelling, "They dropped the charges." That was the first thing I heard that morning. And yeah, nobody was happy. So we were that morning going to be arguing personhood for animals. So I've told this story before, but I think it was just a very powerful moment that almost no one has seen, but hats off to my buddy Wayne Shung, who just gave one of the more impassioned speeches for animal rights that I've ever seen him give before a judge and the assistant DA to stop torturing beagles. And it was incredible. And they had told us that we could not film in there that day. Someone was there to film, and they were told they couldn't do it.
Thing, and they wanted it to kind of go away. But those activists turned the tables. They went back to court and said, we actually want Ridgeland Farms charged with crimes, that they petitioned for a special prosecutor to be brought in to consider.
Yeah, Dennis is pre-vegan. It's pretty obvious to me. The amount that he's in vegan streams, he's a little vegan curious, I don't know what's holding him up. Dennis really likes my channel, which I don't know how to take that. It's like, maybe that means I'm making it too pleasant for people when it should be hard-nosed. But yeah, Dennis is going vegan. I mean, I think, if he had stayed, I would have asked him how his first day of being vegan is. And that's how I'm going to greet him from now on. Because it's one of these days, very soon, he's going to be like, oh, yeah, it was good. How'd you know I went vegan? I'll be like, well, I just, you are obviously pre-vegan, so.
Criminal charges. The Dane County DA would not charge Ridgeland Farms with animal cruelty. They said, we think we have evidence that there should be such charges. That happened in the fall. And in January, a special prosecutor was in fact appointed. And that is an ongoing investigation as to whether or not La Crosse County DA Tim Grinke will bring those charges. But what they found, what we heard in that testimony was that the head veterinarian, a man named Rich Van Dommelen, had been delegating medical procedures to others who have no veterinary training to do procedures like snipping cherry eye, they call them cherry eyes, or swollen glands that beagles often get, and cutting these things with no anesthesia, very bloody procedures, no medical training or veterinary training other than just sort of on-the-job training. And that led to a call for Rich Van Dommelen's license to be suspended. Instead of immediately suspending his license, the state said, we'll let him keep his license with certain agreements going forward. No more delegating these procedures while this investigation continues. And that's kind of where we are now. There's a lot of activists who want to see Ridgeland Farms shut down. They don't like the idea of dogs being bred purely for experimentation.
Well, you're not vegan, Sophis. I feel like you've got you're getting yourself mixed up with this guy Lewis Ghetto who comes in my channel. Am I pronouncing that right, by the way? Let's see. I think we're also, regarding Dennis, I think we're also sort of turning him on to more channels, which is cool. Because I believe he only would visit my channel and Axel's channel. And now he's like in more streams and stuff. He told me he accidentally turned someone vegan. So he's already doing vegan activism. He just called someone a hypocrite or something. Something happened. And he says that someone turned vegan. So yeah, maybe Dennis will be a great activist once he decides to stop doing what he does to animals.
It's legal, a legal business. It's a perfectly legal thing to do. The question is, how are the dogs being treated there? Are there things there that are cruel and beyond what the law allows? That still sort of remains to be seen. But that's how we got into looking at all this.
Some of this is catching people up if they haven't been familiar with it. But my first question going in, and I know you've answered this in some of the stories, is why dogs and why beagles specifically? They're such adorable animals to begin with.
Well, and
there's a specific reason that Ridgeland focuses on beagles.
Yeah, and it's a good question. It's something we talked about in our very first story, something that I discovered I wasn't even aware of, is that if you go back to the 1950s and 60s, it was actually the federal government, the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission at the time, was doing nuclear experiments and testing radiation. And they found that beagles were the perfect experimental animal because they're similar to humans in their makeup, more similar than mice and some of the other things you often hear about in animal testing, but also their temperament. They're docile. They essentially
They don't bite.
They don't fight back. They put up with a lot of.
I'll shout out Jeremy Beckham as well. And you can go on Wayne Shunk's channel, and Jeremy Beckham has been a guest on there several times. The first time he was on the channel, it was about this, and he's one of the premier, researchers when it comes to this kind of stuff. Did a whole paper, like I think it was like his area of focus in grad school. I don't know. I need to remind myself. But anyway, cool guy.
Tough stuff without really making things difficult on the researchers. So they became, for not just the government, but for a lot of private industry, a really sought after research animal. And beagles have been bred for generations now, not just at Ridgeland Farms in Wisconsin, but at other places, as purely research animals. I mean, they're born and bred, raised and sold for the express purpose of being used in lab experiments.
Before we dive into this national push to eliminate animal testing, can we talk a bit about why Ridgeland Farms and other places like it exist in the first place? They're supposed to be advancing medical research, right?
I mean, the idea behind whether it's beagle puppies, whether it's rabbits or pigs or other things, the idea behind animal research, and it's been required by the FDA for many, many years, is that if you want to get a product that will help, maybe it's a drug for human use to make humans' lives better, that before you can start testing things on humans, you need to show that they work in animals. Animals, I guess, seen as less risky or troublesome or ethically problematic than just testing stuff on humans, because who are you going to subject to something that could be fatal or that might not work? So you start in animals. Once you prove it works, say in mice, maybe you then have to show that it works in a dog. And then after that, you might show that we're ready for clinical trials in humans. And it's been that way for a really long time. But there are changes happening. There are moves and pushes to get away from animal testing and to do things that were newer technology. It could be more relevant to humans.
There's this odd and kind of ugly in some way ethical spectrum, right? Like maybe people react differently when they see a beagle, when they see a mouse, or a lab rat, right? Is the term that we use.
Okay, so Louis Guido. Okay. Well, I'll pronounce it how you pronounce it, Louis. It's your name. I'm gonna change your name. I remember when I was like a little kid, I got into an argument with this girl. I was probably like 6 or 7, and this girl was like, "Your name's Germany." I'm like, "No, my name's Jeremy." She's like, "No, your name is Germany." I was like, in my head, I'm like, "Fuck is she? Tell me what my name is." So it's Louis Guido. Free vegan. Yeah, Dennis is in UK. That's why he was saying it's so late there for him. Yeah. Bunnies, rats, and beagles are doll. Yes. Irks me how many vegan friends look the other way. COVID jabs, totally okay with speciesism, pharmaceutical animal testing. Yeah. I mean, animal testing is starting to get back in the news, but it hadn't been. And that's where this Ridgeland case has been helpful in the US. Now, with the administration that we have, white coat waste is making a lot of noise because they've got the ear of people like Nancy Mace and one I used to be on. Still don't know what happened there.
In many cases like this, specifically this case into Ridgeland, they've been very shrouded in mystery, right? You have reached out repeatedly. You haven't heard much from them, haven't been allowed inside. So much of your story relies on video from those first people who kind of broke in or went in, and then the testimony from some of those prosecutions as well. And it's the combination.
Thanks for making that point, Carl. Wow, that was surprising to hear from a journalist.
Visual.
Let's hear that, what he
A
said
beagle when
again.
there's this odd and kind of ugly in some way ethical spectrum, right? Like maybe people react differently when they see a beagle, when they see a mouse or a lab rat, right? Is the term that we use in many cases like this. Specifically this case into Ridgeland, they've been very shrouded in mystery, right? You have reached out repeatedly. You haven't heard much from them, haven't been allowed inside. So much of your story relies on video from those first people who kind of broke in or went in, and then the
One more time, please.
Been very shrouded in mystery, right? You have reached out repeatedly. You haven't heard much from them, haven't been allowed inside. So much of your story relies on video from those first people who kind of broke in or went in, and then the testimony from some of those.
So, I really appreciate these guys saying that, but that's shameful. So what they're saying is that all of this is relying on activists, just your everyday activists, people who care, and journalists have not done it. Journalists aren't getting the footage. Why not? Why are activists the new journalists?
Prosecutions as well, and it's the combination of visuals and people who worked at the farm, I think, that have caught so many people's attention with this series of stories that you've done because of just how brutal it is to see the situation and to hear some of the things happening.
Well, that's great foreshadowing, because we do have a guest who's going to join us in just a little bit, whose organization is well known for things that may have nothing to do with animal experiments, but PETA is known for, obviously very colorful and attention grabbing.
Yeah, PETA is very associated with animal experiments. What are you talking about? By the way, shout out PETA. They just got a lab shut down today. Fuck yeah, PETA. God, I love PETA. I love PETA. We'll watch it. Depending on how long this takes, maybe we'll watch the PETA sucks video that Doggo sent us.
Having demonstrations and things to call
and
attention.
We'll pair that with the news today that they got a marmoset lab at UMass closed down.
The consumption of animals, but they do a lot of focusing on experimentation. And one of the things that we'll talk about with our guest, but I've talked about with these other organizations, is sometimes they're willing to go lengths that others might not be. They're willing to maybe even, and I'm not saying PETA's done this, but some of the organizations in this case broke laws because they said the only way to show you what's going on in these places that are otherwise shrouded in secrecy is to get inside and get the video. It is often the video that really grabs people. And I think ever since we started...
Yeah, it's not illegal to do that. Regardless of how a court misinterprets, animals are not property. Whether a court or a law determines that animals are property, we all know that's bullshit. So the thing that activists have been doing for a long time now, especially activists like Wayne and Zoe, Direct Action Everywhere, is they're trying to use these court cases and get the necessity defense in, which is the defense, which is the principle essentially like if you see a dog in a hot car, you can break the glass and get the dog out because they're in imminent danger of dying. All of these dogs are in imminent danger of dying. So what activists have done is nothing different. And once again, necessity was denied in Sonoma County. So Zoe has to go to court and defend herself against a biased system that is going to try everything to stop her from showing all the footage, showing all the reasons why she went in there. She's going to have to go in there and just describe, I guess, the footage, you know?
Doing these stories, every time you see those dogs just in endless cages, barking, dying for human attention, craving some sort of attention, you go, that's where they live 24 hours. That is what tugs at the heartstrings, and I think what gets people attention to, okay, so what are we really doing with these animals and why? And that's what's led to a lot of this.
You mentioned this group called White Coat Waste in your stories. It's a group that's been exposing some of these painful experience on animals, including the ones at Ridgeland Farms. And we know they're pressuring federal agencies to stop supporting testing on dogs and cats and I guess animals that are more pet-like than, you know, rats and mice, like Carl mentioned. Are there any changes being made? Are any of those pushes getting resolved?
Yeah, I've read Free the Animals. It's a great book. Yeah, it's about how the ALF was brought from the UK over to America. It's about someone with the pseudonym Valerie, who was a police officer who went and got trained by the ALF after seeing the monkeys in Silver Spring, Maryland, and seeing how they were given back to the lab. It's this really crazy story. So anyway, it's about the first ALF, Animal Liberation Front cells in America. So that's the book that Lewis is talking about, Free the Animals. Highly recommend everybody to read. Yep, early days of PETA, exactly.
Well, certainly the White Coat Waste Project has been one of the most influential.
And Ingrid is the head of PETA.
Aggressive groups in going after funding, particularly public funding.
Follow the money,
of animal experiment. And that's what they're saying is if the money isn't there, then you got to find another way. So they've been going after that. And you think right now is an interesting time because you have all of the talk about things like Doge and cost cutting and the Trump administration wanting to reduce funding for science. They see this as an opportunity to say, if we can get people on board with anything, it's why would we put dogs and cats through painful experiments?
Yeah, I'm sad that the reason we're doing it is so stupid that we have an administration that just doesn't believe in science, but I'll take it. You know, whatever gets these labs closed down.
Let's cut funding for that. Now, it's not clear how much money goes specifically to dog and cat experiments. White Coat Waste has said it's about $20 billion a year on all kinds of animal testing. So why are they focusing on dogs and cats? And it's just what you said, Carl, and what you were alluding to. Because we can look at dogs and cats and see them in our own homes and go, okay, well, I don't think we should be testing on beagles. Mice, maybe it doesn't bother me so much. But then you get into the nitty gritty of it and go, well, what's the difference? And I do think that's where that slippery slope of the ethical discussion comes.
Yeah, did you go vegan yet? I'm wondering if Brian has he's dove into this story. I wonder if he's become a vegan. Because here he is articulating exactly the point that a vegan would make. What's the difference between the dog and the rat, or the pig and the cow? I mean, he seems to have a huge interest in this story, so I'm curious.
But I think they see an opportunity. Most people can rally behind the idea of not testing dogs and cats. So they have been pushing Congress and pushing the National Institutes of Health to stop this funding. NIH has just recently started saying, we agree. We don't think we should be doing animal experiments, and especially dog and cat testing. It was just a few weeks ago,
And that's been done before, by the way, I think. I could be wrong. I mean, we definitely see signs that we're further along in this argument, but we've had lip service before.
Weeks ago, in fact, that the director of NIH, he has a podcast like we do.
Everyone has a
It's an
podcast.
official
Everybody
government
loves Dr.
podcast. Dr. Jay Bhattacharya has got.
I've got a podcast too. Technically, you're on it right now. I guess not. This isn't really the podcast. But Brian, maybe I should invite Brian onto my podcast. That'd be a good conversation. We could talk about the media. We could ask him if he's gone vegan.
From the director's desk, and he's sitting there and he has a deputy director, there's many deputy directors, but a deputy director with a long title who's in there, and she focuses a lot on this kind of programming. And he asked her, what do you think we should do about this? And she said, you want my honest opinion? Yeah. She says, I don't think we should be testing dogs and cats. I think it's unconscionable. And that's a pretty strong statement from an agency that has long publicly funded with millions of dollars these kinds of experiments. So they're saying what a lot of animal activists want to hear, but White Coat Waste hasn't yet been satisfied with that. They've actually said, you know, it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do it. And they're still extending existing grants, including one we've talked about at the University of Missouri, where they're infesting beagle puppies with ticks that are diseased so they can give these dogs Rocky Mountain spotted fever and then see if a vaccine works or how much of a vaccine their bodies can.
Yeah, good point. So yeah, It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to extend the let's give beagles Rocky Mountain spotted fever study. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm still also reading Will Potter's book, which, by the way, I guess I've said this a lot lately. But I'm very surprised when I am shocked by what I read, and there are parts of that book that have actually. I don't know if shocked is the right word, but it's like stuff that I didn't know was as bad as he described. The part that's really gotten to me, he was describing the pits, the manure pits, and how people get killed in them. And yeah, Will Potter has asthma, and so when he was riding around in this area of the country, he was in Yakima Valley in Washington State, which sounds eerily similar to Eastern North Carolina, who had to sue the pig farms. You know, people there were suing the pig farms because they were spraying shit into the air. That shit would waft into their yards and cause them all kinds of health problems. So anyway, Yakima Valley sounds the same, but he describes driving through the place and it's like caking on their windshield. It's that bad. Like there are parts they couldn't drive. There's just shit everywhere. And him with his bad, asthma, he was oh man, he was struggling there. So yeah, shout out Will Potter. I still have a strong desire to bring him on the channel.
Handle, and some of them are going to get too much and they won't be able to handle it. So those are painful experiments and they're still paying for them. And that's where some of the controversy remains.
This is not the easiest question, but I think it's a fair one too. What is lost if this testing does not happen with
Well, and
animals?
that's
ultimately the goal of many of these studies is to advance medical science and provide drugs to humans that can save lives, human lives.
That's absolutely the fundamental question here is what is lost. Now you would hear one side tell you, and those who oppose animal testing would say animal testing is already unreliable. 90% of the time something is successful in animals, it doesn't translate to a human biologic or treatment later on because those things tend to be they tend to fail when you get to human trials.
98? Is that
90%?
That's still a huge number.
It's
It's
a
not
huge
what I
number.
would
So there's
imagine.
a lot of money invested, a lot of time invested in things that ultimately fail. There are new technologies.
And then that means that the 10% are just like chance. It's just so dumb. It's like worse than chance. You would think it'd be like 50-50. Maybe. No, it's 10%. That means not only are they not a good source, they're a bad source of information for that.
Technologies that some would say are going to be more reliable, but they're still in the stage of being validated. And that's one of the things is for the federal government to validate.
We are just so stupid. We are so stupid. Something works 10% of the time. Let's just keep funding it by the billions and billions.
Alternatives, they've got to put money and time and resources into that. And some of the debate is if you're still putting it into the old fashioned animal testing, are we going to get these up to speed? Depending on who you talk to, some will say it's already.
Yep, the smell of money. Yep. Exactly. We need to honestly, I should probably do more with that. Some of the people who are in that film have passed away. Decades ago, driving for the first time through Denver for a few miles before even passing it, the stench of the Purina factory.
Pretty ready. Others will say it's a long way off. There is a sea change happening. The question is, how long is that change going to take? But you're right. If you want to develop drugs that are good for humans, then you've got to test them somewhere.
Can I ask a question about that number again? 90%.
Seems really high.
Clearly jumps out to Jen and me. If something is basically failing 90% of the time, you probably wouldn't keep doing it. So why hasn't it?
Thank you.
That's a good question. And maybe I'm not even the best person to ask, but I'll tell you what I've been told and what people have said to me. And that is, number one, just because it doesn't develop a specific drug doesn't mean you haven't learned something from the research that can be built on by others. So a lot of basic research, a lot of original research.
Come on, Brian.
is built on, somebody else did this and then we take it this way and eventually maybe it leads to something. But you can't draw the
Sure. Okay.
direct line and say this research was because it worked in a mouse immediately made a successful drug in a human. 90% of the time it doesn't get there. That doesn't mean there are 100% failures. There's still things that may be learned by that. And the other reason is, until now, there really hasn't been any other.
Yeah, like there's definitely things we can learn from it. Like when we put fabric softener in the eyes of a bunny rabbit and it hurts them. Wow, without doing that research, we didn't know that it might hurt a rabbit to put shampoo in their eyes. I mean, I had never known that anybody would do that. So I had no idea. I mean, maybe they love it. Until you try, you never know. So yeah, sure, Brian. Yeah, we learned some things from this research, like how stupid we are.
Way. You can't test something just starting out in humans. So you got to start somewhere. The question is, are animal models?
And I will say that is one of the findings of animal research. A definitive finding of animal research is that human beings are extraordinarily stupid. So true. I mean, we knew that kind of from other stuff, but that does add a layer to our knowledge base.
Reliable enough or unreliable enough to be replaced by these new technologies, which we're still learning more about, which need to be validated. But our computational models, AI models, organoids, organ chips, are they ultimately going to be better? Are they going to be cheaper? Are they going to be more reliable than animal testing? Certainly the advocates for those things will say they are.
So
Yeah, I haven't read Fast Food Nation. I don't know if I'm really interested. I know fast food is horrible for us. I don't know what I'm going to learn from that. But yeah. Well, I've learned. Yeah, I shouldn't say that.
members of Congress taking interest in this issue? Because it sounds like some wrote a letter to the NIH and others have proposed legislation.
Right after NIH came out and said this, actually, I think it was just 2 days before. 2 days before NIH made these comments in the podcast, 11 members of Congress, all Republicans, wrote to the NIH director, who was a Trump appointee. So this is Republicans going after a Republican-appointed NIH director, but they said, we want you to stop doing this. This is, they call them barbaric dog and cat experiments. They said, stop immediately. And instead of waiting, you now have a Congresswoman, Nancy Mace from South Carolina, who's come out and introduced legislation that would prohibit NIH from supporting financially any kind of specifically painful dog and cat experiments. And to define painful, USDA has these categories we've talked about in our stories of pain. If you can do research where animals are involved in testing, but there's no discomfort whatsoever. I think there are categories A, B, and C where there's really no pain or discomfort. Category D, there is pain or discomfort, but it's treated. They're given an analgesic or pain relief or some kind. Category E is the most controversial. That is where you are inducing some sort of pain or distress on an animal and intentionally withholding treatment, which is necessary if you're looking, for instance, at a control group. We want to see how these dogs respond with the vaccine, but we need to see what happens to these dogs who don't get the vaccine. They just get the Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Well, that can lead to a category E, which is really the kind of the highest level. White Coat Waste calls it maximum pain experiments. This legislation would say you can't do that anymore, at least not with dogs and cats.
Is this something that
Yeah. Okay. I was all my tongue. I was going to say something, but I won't say it.
Has received interest across the political spectrum as well? You say it's all Republicans in this case, but is it something that both sides
That's
of the
what's been
aisle
interesting.
seem to be-
White Coat Waste is actually founded by someone who's a Republican activist, a Republican operative, and you've got these Republicans writing because they want to cut the funding. But on the other side, you've got long-running animal rights groups that tend to be more on the left side of things, and a lot of vegans have been reaching out to me since we've done these stories going, we love that you're doing this. Small percentage of the population is actually vegan, but many vegans are animal activists.
Sure.
And so you've got this really interesting coalition.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect them to be on the same team.
It seems like
necessarily in many
unlikely allies,
Yeah.
but in this case, they've been allies. And I think, again, in the realm of dogs and cats, it seems like there's a lot.
Well, it just goes to show that there are vegans who associate veganism with a leftist kind of thing, and that's not true. It's apolitical. While it bleeds into politics, sure. While most of our allies are probably on the left, sure. There are plenty on the right. So,
I mean, our response to these stories has been overwhelmingly one-sided. But if you started going toward, well, should we be testing mice or should we be eating chickens? All of a sudden you would see a very different response.
Right.
I think but I think right now it's easy to look at dogs and cats and most people go, yeah, I don't think we should be putting them through experiments. I don't want to hold off on our guest any longer though, because he's going to probably have some thoughts on this. Tens of thousands of dogs and cats for now are still the subject of these category D and E experiments, like 16,000 a year, according to USDA figures. And one organization's going undercover to expose some of these experiments. That includes a Ridgeland Farms Beagle sold to a troubled lab in Colorado. We're going to talk about what they caught on camera when we come right back. Welcome back to Open Record. We are joined now by Dan Payton. He is the Vice President of Investigations for PETA. Dan, thank you for being here on Open Record.
Thanks for having me. My pleasure.
So, PETA is probably best known for these attention-grabbing, sometimes controversial demonstrations and opposition to animals, for instance, as human food. But one area I know you do a lot of work is on exposing animal experimentation. About a week ago, you posted video of a beagle named Temple, rescued from a Colorado research lab where an undercover investigator worked for, I think you said 6 months. And it turns out Temple was actually born here in Wisconsin at Ridgeland Farms. Tell us a little bit about Temple's journey and how you came to rescue this beagle.
Just want to say, like, I like this TV station. Like, I mean, obviously I have a reason I like them. They're covering this. But I mean, this guy's been cool. They've asked good questions. She's asked good questions. And Brian is, he's our rock star. But, so far, I mean, we've got PETA on and there's no there's no flippancy, like it's just.
Sure. So yeah, Temple, as you said, was born at Ridgeland Farms in Dane County back in May 2022. When she was about 11 months old, she was shipped to a place called Red Beast Enterprises, which is a contract lab out in Fort Collins, Colorado. They experiment on dogs, cats, sometimes rats, but mostly beagles and cats for big pharmaceutical groups, for veterinary drug companies, etc. And in the course of a PETA undercover investigator's time working at that facility, she asked again and again and again if she could adopt an animal, if she could help rescue an animal who otherwise was going to be put down or sent to another laboratory at the end of their use at that lab. And finally, the company president relented. Interestingly, in your lead up, you were talking about how beagles are known to be docile, and that's why they're used in experiments. Temple was let go precisely because she did put up a fight. In the company president's words, she was too, quote unquote, wiggly and jumpy to use in experiments. And so her fight actually got her liberated. And my wife.
Wow. Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of books, we've been talking about books. Where is it? Damn, I'm going to forget the name. I thought I had it in here. I don't. But there's a cool book about animals fighting for their own liberation. I'll think of it later or something. Anyway, it's an interesting read.
Flew out to Denver and picked her up, drove her back across to Virginia, where
somebody here knows.
We fostered her, and back in late April, we adopted her. So she is comfortably napping to my side right now and is living the life that she has always deserved. And frankly, every dog at Ridgeland and other places like it deserves.
Do you know anything about what she went through before she came to you? And have you seen any effects from that time?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, when we received her, I noticed that the dew claws on all 4 of her hands had been snipped or burned off. She has these pretty remarkable scars where those claws would be, and that was not done in Colorado. So my hunch is that was done in Wisconsin. When she got to the lab in Colorado, the facility's veterinarian, who was a part-time person, by the way, put gynecological forceps down her throat and used them to cut pieces of her vocal cords out. This is what's called debarking. I know it's been discussed in your reporting on the Ridgeland case. That's something that they do there as well.
I will point out that they have said they haven't done it there for years, and it's one of the things that's come up in testimony. They've said they haven't done it for at least 4 or 5 years, but we know they have done it in the past. There was testimony about it. What really struck me, though, is you have video. Your undercover investigator got video of one of these, and I've heard about devocalization, and a lot of people really cringe at that one. But seeing the forceps going down the dog's mouth deep into the throat is a powerful image. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, they were pulled from cages one by one soon after they arrived at the facility. So they'd be probably 6 months to 1 year old. They would be put on a table. A worker would get behind them.
Yeah, Felix, exactly. Any TV station, any radio station can do this. If I still worked at my public radio stations, I'd be covering the shit out of it with a microphone. It's all I needed. Microphone.
One
image. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, they were pulled from cages one by one soon after they arrived at the facility. So they'd be probably 6 months to 1 year old. They would be put on a table. A worker would get behind them, hold them, lift open their jaws, and then the vet would shove this metal contraption down their throats, probably 12 inches or so. Take the cuts out, take the tissue out, and then the dog would be simply just taken back to a cage or kennel.
Can you imagine having that done to you? That looks so painful.
And left there to quote unquote recover. What I think particularly disturbing about this is that they were denied pain relief afterwards. And
Nilf, how are you doing? Well, you always cheer me up. You always leave me good and satisfied, Nilf. So. I'd like to return the favor. I don't know if you're like, you strike me as more of a giver than a receiver, but.
And everyone we've consulted says this is inherently a painful procedure. This is something that leaves a dog feeling tremendous pain and distress and suffering for days on end afterwards. And yet this was just part of doing business there.
Is there a scientific reason for doing that? Is there some reason that would need to be done to make them better lab experiment animals?
No, this is purely for human convenience. I mean, this is solely to make their barking, quote unquote, less shrill, in the words of the people in Colorado. It's simply because obviously when you have 5 beagles, let alone 100, let alone 2,500 in a building, they're going to be loud when you stick them in cages for their entire lives. You don't play with them, you don't interact with them. They bark and they bark and they bark, and that's loud. And the lab staff didn't want to hear it. And so the practice in Colorado, anyway, was to quote unquote debark or devocalize them.
We certainly know the power of.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of times we'll say as activists that we're trying to give a voice to the voiceless, but animals actually do have a voice. But in the case of these beagles, their voice is literally taken from them.
Visuals working in television, right? And that's the medium that we operate in. Actually acquiring that video and being able to share it with your supporters or use it to try to convince people of your side of things. Can you tell us about the investigation side of PETA? Because as Brian alluded to, I think a lot of people maybe have stereotypical views of what PETA does, some of the other things, but this almost sounds like a spy novel playing out in terms of infiltrating a place like this and coming away with evidence, visuals.
Yeah, we have a number of brave individuals who, they live on the road. They give up their life. They typically don't start families. They don't have companion animals themselves because they're constantly living in hotels and going from state to state. But they apply for employment at facilities just like anyone else would. They use their proper identity. They use their work history. They simply do not admit that they work for PETA at the same time. They get hired. And they're expected to be, and they are model employees at the lab or the slaughterhouse or the pet dealer where they might work. They do the work that's expected of them there. But meanwhile, if they see what we believe to be violations of law, then they start recording and photographing and documenting their observations, their conversations with staff, etc., for the purpose of later going to law enforcement,
If you want to see a cool story / dramatization of exactly what he's talking about, it's such good timing. There's that movie. I did a stream about it already. It's on Amazon Prime right now. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it. It's called Infiltrated, period. I don't know why they did it this way. It's really annoying. Infiltrated, period, inside the bunker or something like that. Anyway, just look it up. You'll find it. It's good. And it's a true story with real footage, but they had to hire an actress who did a great job, I assume. I mean, I don't know the real person, but the actress did a great job, seemingly, portraying what happened.
To a regulatory agency like USDA, for instance, sharing with these agencies what they themselves are never going to walk in and see in their own inspections. And then, of course, yes, sharing it with the public in hopes that raising awareness leads to different decisions by consumers, pressure from citizens on lawmakers to make policy changes at NIH, for instance, and so forth.
we were talking about this yesterday, Dan, you and I, that to get
What's the latest shark video? What are you referring to, Neil?
get in and to do this, you certainly have to walk this fine line between, we talked about, you can't go in and just lie about who you are. You've got to just hope they don't ask a lot of questions. And then they get in and they get this stuff that's really powerful video. Once you get that evidence, once you have.
So again, I have to make this point, even though I love what they're doing, these journalists, but what he's describing is the work that journalists used to do. Go undercover, gather footage, gather information. Some probably still do it, but there aren't many. So it's all activists doing this kind of stuff. Or maybe not even activists. Maybe people just went into work and saw something horrific and decided, I'm filming this and I'm going to send it to PETA.
That. What is your hope that will come of people seeing the video of the forceps going down a beagle's throat, of seeing Temple, who we see in the videos you've provided, first on that transport home, looks extremely nervous, shaky, very anxious about what's uncertain, and then later on running happily down the hallway, having the time of her life. But what do you hope comes from that when people see it?
Just a recognition that these are individual animals. When we talk about 16,000 dogs, or when we talk about 2,500 at Ridgeland, or when we talk about millions of mice and rats who frankly go uncounted in most laboratories simply because they just don't matter to people.
Yeah, journalism was never pure, but there used to be pure journalists. Good journalists, brave journalists. Used to be. I mean, there's some, not saying there's not, but I don't see a lot of journalisming happening anymore. It's just not very common. Yeah, I mean, this is a prime example where this has been in their backyards. This place, Ridgeland Farms, has been in their backyard since the 60s. The 60s. And it isn't until Wayne and crew did some investigating and PETA did some investigating. Now we're talking about it. But keeping in mind, I don't know if there were any Wisconsin activists. I don't believe so. At the very beginning, it was activists from other places. Like, there's something to be said for protecting your home turf. You know what I mean? Like, keep an eye on your own backyard kind of situation. I don't know. Like, where's the public radio station? Where's all those journalists? There is a good journalist based in Wisconsin, and that's Marina Bolotnikova, who we had on the program, who writes for Vox.
They're all individuals. Temple is a complicated animal. She's a great person. She's a great creature. She has unique emotions. She has unique behaviors. It's been a joy getting to know her for the past 4 or 5, I guess, months since we took her in. And yet, every single animal of every other species who's in a laboratory, or for that matter, in a factory farm or traveling around the country with a circus, is like her. They have their own complex personality that deserves.
There are good journalists. I know some of them. The point that I'm making is that there are just not enough of them. So when I blanketly say it's just not happening anymore, I just mean it rarely happens. And there aren't enough good journalists. But I know good journalists. I spent 15 years in the news industry. And I met good people, including brave journalists. I do wish we had known about Animal Ag. That would have been nice. I wasn't a full-time reporter, though, as I've explained before. I was a host most of that time. There was only like one stint during my radio career where I was solely a reporter. And I was at this big station at the time, and I was the new guy at the station. I only stayed there for a couple of years. And I even at that station even quickly transitioned into hosting, I think. Wait, no. I helped the host. Yeah.
Respect that deserves protection under law. And sometimes, oftentimes, I think we have found that people's eyes can understandably kind of glaze over when you throw big figures at them. But when you show them one victim and tell her story, suddenly it strikes them. And then if they extrapolate from that, think, well, there are millions more like her who are undergoing similar things, but won't get the opportunity she's getting. It's that.
Okay, well, in the case of NPR, there are no corporate owners starting wars and shit. NPR is an independent.
Much more empowering for them, I think. And also, I think it hits policymakers as well.
Dan, I'm interested in what you're hearing from these labs that have been the target of PETA's undercover research, or any of these businesses that partner with those labs. Have you gotten any feedback from them on the video that you've shown and the evidence you've uncovered?
No, unfortunately, we really haven't. Silence has been the rule so far. The most prominent user of the lab that we investigated in Colorado is Colorado State University, which is just a few miles down the road. And they have faculty there who have been experimenting on animals at this contract lab for years. And they have just stayed silent. They refuse to acknowledge, even to Colorado lawmakers, their ties to this facility. They won't commit to reconsidering that tie, even after the USDA went in and, frankly, corroborated what our investigator found and cited that lab for violating 11 different federal animal welfare regulations. Still, no one seems to be moved by that in this industry, which I think is really telling. I mean, you would expect at the very least that when presented with evidence like this, someone who has a real interest in animal welfare, or even their own bottom line in advancing human health, would say, no, we're not gonna keep doing business there. And yet, as far as we can tell, it's green light forward for everyone there still.
I think you heard part of our discussion in that first segment about the other side of this question, which is what is lost if we are not able to do some of the scientific research for the betterment of human health in many cases.
Well, you are able to do the scientific research. You just stop using animals. It's that simple.
What would be your response in terms of what you would like to see in terms of the way science is researched and experimented in America? Is there an avenue for any animal testing in your world, or what is the cost benefit analysis from your side of things?
He's asking good questions. NPR was not on board. NPR was not on board with the Iraq War buildup. Okay, I need to explain to you, like, news organizations don't generally have a position. They report what they're not like a newspaper where they have like an opinion section. Sure, they reported on what everybody was reporting on.
There's not any room for testing on a single animal in our view. When we were founded in 1980, and one of the most, I think, attributed quotes to our organization from the early days was essentially that even if there was a cure for AIDS found and it came at the expense of one rodent's life, in PETA's view, it wouldn't be worth it. My dad, just personally speaking, my dad has Parkinson's disease, and obviously I want him to beat that. I don't want him to suffer and to go downhill from that. It appalls me that money is being spent somehow to help someone like him by afflicting rodents with something like that disease. I would much rather see that money going to the technologically advanced means that we have available now that you were speaking about earlier. At the end of the day, it's for PETA anyway, it's about individual animals, and they do not get a chance to consent to being experimented on.
Right.
No one should be treated as a guinea pig. Guinea pigs shouldn't be treated as guinea pigs. Human beings shouldn't be treated as guinea pigs, clearly. If we're going to do research on other individuals, they should get the chance to agree to it. And non-human animals just simply can't do that.
The last question I want to ask you on this is along those lines, though. You are...
I like that he brought up, my dad's got Parkinson's disease. And because it's like, a lot of people trying to make this point, like, what do you not care about those people who like need life-saving medical treatment? Of course they do. Like, a lot of people have family members struggling with things. It does not mean we can do this to a rat, a cat, a dog, whatever, Okay, I feel like we're not going to agree on a stouter on NPR, but that's okay. I've been very, very critical of NPR. I don't think they're a fantastic news source anymore. I do think at one point they were pretty good. Obviously, I didn't give you a nuanced description of the way that NPR handled the Iraq War. I just said they reported on it like everybody else. Everybody at that time was reporting on what the government was doing. What NPR does is they report what the government's doing. They're actually, I actually think they do this poorly, considering that they're based in DC. Like their headquarters is based in DC. But when you say they're reporting on weapons of mass destruction, they could be reporting what Bush said, So I don't think them saying what the president said is them taking a position on the war. Now, I mean, this is going back a ways. I was fairly young at that time, so I don't remember this like the back of my hand. Actually, okay, here's a good point. Actually, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt I'll give you an honest doubters. I wasn't there. When 9/11 happened, I was in high school, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I was like 14 or 15 years old. So I didn't work there at the time. So I shouldn't speak about it as though I know exactly. I was probably getting driven around by my mom and dad at the time, and I'd hear NPR in the car. But yeah, so I can't speak about that time period. But I just, I don't see a nefarious plot the way that you're describing it, like corporate masters doing it's just not that way. At least not there. It's the more insidious, and I mean that would be something that would like imply that they're good at something. The more insidious thing that I see with journalists is just laziness, like laziness and incompetence and a lack of courage, which is kind of the point that I'm making about why is PETA here? Why is Wayne having to expose Ridgeland Farms when there's this TV station right there in Madison, or this one's in Milwaukee, but there's all kinds of journalism going on in Madison, Wisconsin. How is Ridgeland coasting all this time? And so that's the point that I'm making. And yeah, sure, there are definitely like biased news agencies out there that have like extremely obvious agendas. But yeah, I will defend NPR to the extent that they are not that. And like I said, I won't back. I'm not the most major fan of. Yeah, no, I don't mind. It's kind of one of my favorite topics on a Stouter, as anybody's followed my channels. Talking about journalism is very interesting to me, but I don't want to give people the impression that like there's a blanket way that news organizations operate. As we lose them, as they shrink down more and more, and we get fewer and fewer news sources, it becomes easier and maybe even more accurate to blanketly describe them. But at least not yet. Not yet. They're not all the same yet. You were in middle school, Nilf? I'm a little older than you. Yeah. But yeah, we need to think of topics that's going to make Nilf feel better, because Nilf is he's grouchy. So what do you want to talk about, Nilf? Do you want to doing all this Grim Beagle stuff? Is there anything what I've been watching a lot lately? That's here. I won't play it because I don't know if I can play it. But if you want to cheer up, Nilf, I have been watching all those old like Ali G. I don't know why they popped up in my feed, but if you're in a bad mood, just watch Ali G writes a book or something. Yeah, but why are you quoting Jefferson as though Jefferson is the source of like you're quoting a politician? Talk about Halloween and I'll be a happy Halloween. How close are we? Oh, we're not quite there yet, Nil. Not quite there yet. But Halloween is a fun topic. He's your fave. Nice.
Sitting there with a dog that you've adopted. You have Temple next to you. You don't have
Okay.
a rat that was
With the Ali G one, he came up with this idea where he invented gloves for ice cream because he's like, you know, you're eating an ice cream cone. What happens? It drips down onto your hand. Well, so he goes around to all these like professional patent places and tries to pitch them on the idea of the ice cream glove. I think the first one that like I mean, I've seen Ali G years ago, but what got it rolling in my feed, my algorithm feed, was probably the one that he did with Donald Trump, where he interviewed Donald Trump for like 3 seconds. And Trump was so obviously a dickhead, even then. Like there are times when Ali G would interview people and you could see that they're taken aback, but then they roll with it and they're cool. But not Donald Trump. Just a complete shithead dick stick.
rescued from a lab that's in you.
Which
There is something
a
about
new word that I don't know ever existed before, but dick stick, that's what he is.
domestic animals. And I think from our viewers, we see their response to dogs being experimented on. They may not feel the same way you or your organization does about a mouse or a rat or something else. Is there an issue there? Is there, like, when we talk about this sort of slippery slope or the spectrum, is there a place where the public is like, they'll be on board with?
Lewis, I wish you had been here earlier. There was this fucking annoying ass person in here, went by like maximum sophistry, maximally sophist. You would have torn him a new one. Yeah. Oh, Nilf, I got something for you. You weren't here. Nilf, this will make you feel better. New to the grave. You like some deathcore? New to the grave. EP. I didn't time him out. He timed himself out. This time, he got bored of us. That's what happened.
With not doing it on dogs and cats, but maybe we want to still do it with rats because after all, Parkinson's is a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be fair, we have rescued rats and mice and chinchillas and other animals of various species from labs and placed them in homes. And I do think that those individual stories also strike people at their heart. It is a slippery slope. I think that it's wise to highlight the plight of dogs and cats precisely because these are the species most of us are familiar with and share our homes with. And a lot of people can look at someone like Temple and someone like a dog in their own home and say, well, I've never put my dog in a cage for that to be done, and no other dog should be subjected to the same. It is easier for people to, I think, come to grips with it being done to species they're maybe afraid of, they don't understand as well, they maybe see as pests and so forth. But ultimately, there is no difference between Temple and a rat and a mouse and a pig in a laboratory because they're all mammals. They all feel pain and suffer and feel
that, or he had to go sharpen his canine teeth, Lewis.
Terror and fear, very similar, and they're being used in these labs precisely because in some ways they're very similar to us as a species, and it's only convenience for an experimenter to say that the similarities end when it comes to their emotional state or their capability to feel pain.
Dan Payton with he's Vice President of Investigations for PETA. I really appreciate you spending this time with us here on Open Record. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you so much for doing what
Dan, you're the shit. As is PETA.
You do.
And one thing I want to point out is that there are certainly other sides to this whole thing. We did invite the University of Wisconsin, which does a lot of animal research, to come on the podcast. They did not respond. We invited
Shocker.
The National Association of Biomedical Research, which has written direct responses to the NIH's comments about dogs and cats. They did not respond. And I
Shocker.
invited Ridgeland Farms to come on the podcast. They also did not respond.
Shocker. Isn't it interesting? You know, all these people, and you know, they say the animal activists are the ones like putting out, you know, false information. Here's their chance to come on and correct the record. They don't want to do it. Shocker.
But we're going to talk about some of the.
It's shocking, like Halloween is shocking, right, Nilf? It's spooky, is what I'm saying. It's spooky and creepy, and one of the rescued lab rats my mom and I cared for decades literally made a purring sound and vibration when rubbed, just the most pleasant way. Oh, that sounds nice. I met a woman recently who takes care of rats. She's cool.
The latest updates on the many investigations that are still going on at Ridgeland Farms, and we'll do that when we come right back after this. Welcome back to Open Record. I want to talk about some of the stuff that's going on with Ridgeland Farms, but I know, Carl, you've got some thoughts.
A fascinating conversation with Dan there. Obviously, he is from one side of this argument, and when you see a picture of an animal like that, like Temple, it's hard to argue.
Yeah, he's from one side of the argument, the correct side. Yeah.
With that, but I found it fascinating him putting his own personal story up there, and I think basically saying, like, if there was a cure for his father's Parkinson's, but it required experimentation on animals, he would not want that cure. And I don't know if that's the same answer that many people.
I don't think he said that. He basically said that doesn't excuse what we do to animal. Did he? Maybe he said it. I don't know. I was also watching the chat, so.
In America, in Wisconsin, would have. I'm curious about the other options, right? If there is another option for medical research and for some of these breakthroughs that does not involve harming animals, of course, everyone would go for that. You've looked into some of that, Brian, and it's a bit of a question of what's possible in lab testing versus what still in some ways requires animal testing.
Well, we did a whole story looking at.
Yeah, so there's the, you know, organ on a chip thing, there's AI, there's there's 3D printing, there's all kinds of shit, but what Dan brought up was consent. Animals don't consent. And there probably are humans that would consent. In fact, we know there are. Because if you're suffering from some disease, they put out experimental treatments all the time. And people seek them out. Because they're desperate. So you can trial humans who are seeking, you know, I don't know.
At a place called STEM Farm in Madison, it's a startup, tech startup, and they are doing neural organoids, looking specifically at Alzheimer's disease. And even they said, while we think this technology is great and is going to be much, much better than research on animals, it's not ready yet to completely eliminate the use.
Oh, Nilf. Yeah, isn't that awkward? You like start watching a show and there's like some long sex scene. You're sitting there with your folks. Just kind of awkwardly. Oh, did my buddy call? Oh, my buddy texted me. Like moans happening. Yeah, it's awkward.
Of animals. In fact, right now they say we need to kind of compare what we can do to what you can do with an animal so we can see where the weaknesses might be or the strengths. So validation has to happen. But I think this really illustrates the point you're making, which is if you look at research polls, there's an organization called the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. Now they're biased. They don't like animal testing, but they did a survey that found 80.
I guess it's fair to say, yeah, we're biased. Like, could it just be that we're right? You know, it's just, I don't know. Bias sounds negative, and being against torturing animals just sounds like the right thing. So I wouldn't call PCRM biased. I would call them right.
85% of Americans say government funding should prioritize non-animal research methods. That's different from saying if the only way to do it was to use a mouse, you shouldn't do it.
Right.
Because if you actually ask people, do you support, cures for this, that, I mean, it's how you word a question matters, right?
Right.
According to Pew Research, 52% of Americans oppose animal testing in general. That's much less than 85%, but it's a slight majority. But then if you get to things like you've got this guy from PETA, you look at the number of people who are vegans or vegetarians who say we shouldn't even be eating animals, much less testing on them. Vegans are 1% of the population, according to Gallup polls, and vegetarians 4%. So how you ask the question, where you draw the line, can give you a dramatic different result. But I think the thing right now, people look at is go, if there are alternatives, we should be moving toward them.
Sure.
And that's what we're hearing FDA and NIH say for the first time publicly is we are starting to phase that out. We want to move toward these new methods.
Right. And while the video is hard to see, to Carl's point, if it's your child or something, I think a lot of people would say, I'd do whatever it takes to find a cure and to research. So it becomes difficult when it involves someone close to you or a disease that hits you personally, where we all benefit from the research that's done on animals in these cases.
I think that's one of the reasons why so much of this has happened out of sight. Maybe sometimes we didn't want to look.
Right.
But when you look inside Ridgeland Farms, or you look inside this laboratory in Colorado and you see the forceps going down the dog's throat and cutting their vocal cords, you go, well, wait a minute. I
But this
certainly
makes
want
me
cures,
uncomfortable.
but I'm uncomfortable with this.
But guys, while I appreciate the thorough conversation, I'm talking to the people on the screen right now, not my chatters, just to be clear. You already pointed out that the animal tests are damn near useless, like complete failures. So all this like, well, if killing the mouse was the only way, it's not. And it's giving you bad data, if anything.
So what do we do about it? And certainly if you...
Okay, I addressed the people on the screen. Now let's go to the chat. Always found it weird to advocate against gluck traps. I want to advocate against all traps. Well, there's the have a heart, isn't it called? Like, it's just a thing that you can take the mouse outside. That's better. Yeah, they don't poison the owl or the hawk. Right. Yeah. Yeah, so that we should do away with any kind of stuff like that. Right. And as Alka Chenna from PETA said during our interview, the animals are also just in such an unnaturally confined condition that their physiology is being disrupted by that. So, I mean, you can only imagine what it would be like if, like, the baboons that she and PETA were exposing at UMass, or at Mass General Hospital rather, who were in cages about the size of their body. You can imagine what that would do to us.
Could do it without using animals. I think everyone agrees that would be the better way.
Yeah, and that specifically, that forceps is important to note too, that he said that was not a necessary part of the scientific experiment as well. That was separate from that.
Yeah, good point, dude. Dan, I think I already kind of forgetting. I think it was his name was Dan. Was pointing out that the debarking is simply for human convenience.
Absolutely,
It's like a moral quandary here.
There's a lot, and I've got a lot. Listen,
Not a quandary. Not even a moral quandary, just a very easy to understand. This is wrong. Stop doing it. Not a quandary.
We're not going to go to all of it. One of the things I wanted to point out, though, is that Ridgeland Farms is engaged in a legal business. What they do, the government actually for many years said, we want you to breed beagles because we need them for research. So what they're doing is legal. That said, there are limits under the laws to how you can treat animals. And some of the
Yeah, the special prosecutor is looking into illegal activity.
Allegations that are being, that are the subject of
allegations of illegality.
These investigations. There's a criminal investigation. There's disciplinary investigations. Have to do with whether or not they've lived up to those animal cruelty laws. And some people will say that those laws aren't strict enough as they are, but they exist in whatever state they're in. The question of whether they should have been delegating some of these painful procedures to people who are not licensed veterinarians is a question that's still out there. Whether or not some of the conditions at Ridgeland Farms, if the animals are getting enough human contact or attention on a daily basis as required, if the drainage systems were good enough, if the stalls were clean, things like that. That's all stuff that falls within the legal process, but are you living up to animal welfare?
Right.
There are certainly people here that don't really care whether they're living up to animal welfare or not. They just don't want them to do it. And obviously there's a lot left to be learned about all of this.
It seems like kind of a watershed moment. I know you had that as a possible topic with Dan as well, but I know you've been doing this series of stories more recently. The video that's featured comes from years ago, but it seems like so much is happening right now. Do you get that sense as well? Not just because you've been covering this so closely?
You know, that's one of the reasons I think I'm still on it, is because once I started looking at this, I realized things are happening. There are these new technologies that are emerging, so we wanted to learn more about what those are. And you see the federal government making moves to get away from something that's been the norm.
And he seems like kind of a one-man. Like I realize that's why, you know, it's props to Fox 6 Milwaukee, because they seem to have empowered him to be making his own decisions of what he wants to cover, because he seems unusually motivated, you know, like highly motivated to cover this story. And he has to go in meetings, I'm sure, with his editors and news directors and argue his case that I want to stay on this story and I'm going to keep covering this story. And they have to agree to that, I assume. And they have. And not only have they done that, but they've significantly, to use the word on the screen, featured it, putting it on this open records podcast thing that they do. So it's not like they're just throwing it out there and then just tossing it out there to say they did it. They're actually like really hyping it.
For generations now. So we do see we're at a critical point in time where things are changing. For some, they may not be changing fast enough, but it looks like it's moving toward ultimately eliminating animal testing one day. Will we ever get there, or how long will it
had a nice little pun there, honest outer
take? I think that's what remains to be seen, but this is a very interesting time in the world of animal research.
Right. Is there anything else you want to tell us before we move on?
No, I think that's probably it for this. I think we can, you know, I'll say this much. We're going to be talking about it, I think, for a while to come yet. I don't think this is the end of the story, but we will.
Good. Stay on it, Brian. Brian, you rock. Brian rocks. You're cool. You're cool. I appreciate you guys. Well done.
We'll take a break and go off the record, and you'll find out why my voice sounds like this when we come back.
Okay, let's. I think this is going to be some fluff, but we'll watch it. But here's this video. So please do tell Fox 6 Milwaukee that you appreciate the work they're doing. It's awesome. It's so cool.
And it's time for us to go off the record. This is the part of the podcast where we get a little more casual and have a little fun by answering a question for which none of us is prepared, because Sarah's not here, but
okay,
she gave in this sheet of paper. But before we get to
these, can be important because we learned before that Brian was taking a vacation, which was tragic news to all of us. We need him on the job. No breaks. So let's see what we find out. Why did you lose your voice, Brian? Is it because you were shouting into the phone at Ridgeland Farms? Why won't you come on the program? I'm sure that was why.
That my voice seems to have done okay.
It held up this podcast.
Honestly, I don't know if people would necessarily notice if you hadn't drawn attention
Maybe
to
it's just because I feel it. I was afraid I was going to be struggling. Now I'm just struggling to get through.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything. You're making it up, Brian.
Because I ran downstairs to get this question and I ran up steps. But anyway, I was at Cedar Point Amusement Park in Sandusky.
Used to be the tallest roller coaster in the world up there.
Ohio over the weekend.
Okay.
And they've got some pretty great roller
They
coasters
sure do.
there. And one of them is called Steel Vengeance. And
what? What is Steel Vengeance? That must be new. I've been to Cedar Point. It's been a long time. But the tallest in the world was, I believe, called the Dragster or something like that. And then there was a really cool one that was like 100 feet shorter than that, but massive, still massive. And it was more like a traditional roller coaster. And I don't think it was called, what was that again?
They've got some pretty great roller
They sure
coasters
do.
there. And one of them is called Steel Vengeance.
I don't think it was Steel Vengeance, unless they've renamed these things.
And you can't take your phone on these rides. So I had to lock it away in a locker, but I still had my Apple Watch on. And I was like, I can record audio. This might be fun.
Okay.
So I recorded audio of the ride and then paired it with their promotional point of view
Love it.
video. And this is why my voice sounds the way it does today.
Whoa.
Is that a wooden coaster?
So it's a wood structure, but it's a steel, like
I don't remember a wood coaster.
new technology coaster. It's really smooth. And because of that technology, it can do things that you normally couldn't do on a wooden coaster, which you're about to see. And
You're
my
climbing pretty
audio-
high right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my audio recording kicks in here in just a few seconds. This is like their stock
Are you a
recording.
coaster guy?
I love roller coasters. One of my favorite things to do, and my kids love them too. So here we
Okay,
go.
let's
By the way, I didn't get to ride the dragster. It kept breaking while I was there. Not like people were dying or anything, but it kept shutting off. And so I never got to ride that. So I didn't get to ride the tallest roller coaster. It is this thing that like shoots straight up, just goes straight up. You go over a little loop and then you go right back down. That's it. But it was the tallest at one. I don't think it is anymore. But it was sometimes you'd go up and like it was running throughout the day. It just kept breaking, but you would see like people would go up and sometimes they go over, not quite make it, so they're just dangling. And can you imagine if you're that person at the front dangling, just staring straight down, like feeling gravity pulling against the fucking harness, just staring death in the face, and then not making the turn and having to get pulled back up? Oh, sounds like one of the most terrifying things. And it was doing that. That's what was happening to people. Flooded this week and was struck by lightning under Maine. It's now replaced Mean Streak. Steel Vengeance is broken. Oh no. Nilf. That's fine. We're not there. We don't care that it's broken right now. Be broken. Just get it fixed by the time that me or Nilf is there. That's it. Do y'all like roller coasters? I think it's all men here, so I can say this, but are you guys man enough to ride the Speedster or the Dragster or whatever it's called? You're going in 2 weeks? What? And you didn't invite me? Nilf? Damn it. That sounds awesome. Maybe you can take some footage. Let's see Brian's footage here.
We're getting to the top. Oh no.
To be fair, that roller coaster doesn't look tall at all. But I'm sure it felt big when he was on it. But compared to what they've got there, this is a wooden coaster, though. Ooh, yeah. So you couldn't do like flips and stuff. I don't think on wooden coasters back. Wooden coasters, by the way, are far more scary to me than like metal ones because you feel them moving. And it just looks like they're about to crumple.
Oh, I was having a great time. My favorite part's coming up here. Only halfway. That's not even.
I was just gonna say, Brian's got a good job.
That's probably it. You get the point.
So how many of these did you go on?
Well, so I went on that one 3 times in 2 days. Once at night, which was phenomenal.
Awesome.
Overall, I think we got in about 20 roller coaster rides. Because the first day we bought one of those fast passes where you can like jump the
hit 'em
line
all.
and you just stare at the other people in line going, ha ha, until the next day when I didn't have one and then I was sad.
This is a long roller coaster.
It is a very, very long roller coaster. And
Yeah.
And so
Pretty
this last part at the end, you feel like you're bucking a bronco.
Yeah.
You're up and down, and it never stops. And they're finally got.
And your stomach can handle 20.
I guess he's not a vegan yet because he said you feel like you're bucking a bronco. Come on, Brian. Speciesist. You should have said it feels like you're riding a wooden coaster with metal technology. That's what it feels like. Right at the end. Animal Rights Talk guy's name is Brian, like Cedar Point. This guy is basically. Is your name Brian? Didn't know that. This is the best coaster in the world? Wait, you think I'm in Australia? Wait, who are you talking to? Nilf, you think I live in Australia? Huh. That's funny.
Any of these? Oh, well, it was exhausting.
Because I don't have a Australian accent at all, do I?
It actually
physically.
it was hot out, and then I was getting tired from the screaming and then from the just adrenaline rush. But I love that kind of stuff. It was a lot of fun. Anyway,
We should have done this as like a wrong answers only, and why does Brian not have a voice? And then that would have been such a great
I'm going to keep calling you Nilf, though, because I like that.
reveal. I did not guess roller coaster.
You know, I don't know if we have time for that one because now we're almost running out of time. Are you guys roller coaster people?
So this is really funny because I am the like designated Fox 6 wake up roller coaster
Yeah,
person.
you did. You did it recently.
But only because no one else will do it. So I myself am not a crazy roller coaster person. Like we
But why Australia, of all places? Just assumed I went to Australia. I had a little streak of Australian people on the channel, like To the Grave singer, Jack Higgs. I had James Aspey. Who else? I feel like there's more.
didn't go to a bunch of theme parks growing up, but whenever Six Flags Great America opens up a new ride,
Sure, yeah,
I
okay.
am the well,
But if I had to guess, like I feel like I have more people from the UK.
to use a terrible term for this segment, the guinea pig. Who gets down
Way to bring it all around.
Gurney.
Way to bring it around,
Yikes.
Carl.
Yikes. Okay. So I seek them out, but I'll do it a couple times in the morning for live TV because, as you just heard, watching, seeing, hearing people on roller coasters is always entertaining. I do it like 2 or 3 times and I'm good. I'm
Right.
toast. So you can do it all day like this.
We had the fast pass. I didn't want to waste the money, so I went from 9 a.m. until 11 p.m.
Wow, that's a long
And then
day.
the next day, I'm still feeling it today. I still feel totally out of it. But
See, I'm on the other end of this. My family went to Bay Beach amusement park in May for the first time, which is so great. I love how
Yes.
affordable and fun it is for kids. I went on the swings ride, thinking that would be simple and easy, right? You're just
No.
going in a circle, a gentle swing around. I got off it and felt sick to my stomach. And then I was glad that I'd started there and didn't start with like a roller coaster or something. So I'd be the one that would force you to
Yeah,
step up,
fair.
Carl,
I
if
can
I
do
worked
the
with you.
coasters, but spinny rides that they
Yeah.
make
That's
me dizzy.
true.
I,
Like the teacups at
teacup,
Disney.
no
I
way.
mean, I get
No
sick in
way.
cars.
Yeah.
So give me the wrong photographer and I'll just be moaning.
But I could have done that 20 times if I had been able to get in line that many times. I just love the roller coasters. But
Teacups at
teacup,
Disney.
no
I
way.
mean, I get
No
sick
way.
in cars.
Yeah.
So give me the wrong photographer and I'll just be moaning.
But I
Give me the wrong photographer and I'll just be moaning.
could have done that 20 times if I had been able to get in line that many times. I just love the roller coasters. Well, that's all our time for today. We'll wrap things up when we come right back.
All right, that was fun. That was good. I linked to it. Okay, you guys do that. All right. Number 1, Steel Vengeance. Number 2, Millennium Force. I feel like I've done Millennium Force. Is that Millennium Force? I think might have been the other one. That's at Cedar Point, right? I think that's the one that I rode. That was like, it's a traditional roller coaster, but massive, right? It's like almost as tall as the dragster. I think so. Yes. Invade me, Axel. And I didn't mean that in a sexual way. I'm sorry. It sounded kind of sexual when I said it. Give me the wrong photographer though, and I'll just be moaning. 310 feet tall, 92 miles an hour, first giga coaster in the world. Damn. How you doing, Axel? You doing some debating? I have a good debate coming out tomorrow. And by good, I mean awful. But check it out. Yeah. Man. All right. Yeah. Wish Doggo was here because we might just have to check out his stupid video that he sent me. What is it again? Meat guy or something? PETA is the worst. This is for you. This is going to piss us off, guys. Probably. So as we watch PETA is the worst, I just want to point out again that PETA closed down a lab today. All right? Today. So what was it? It was UMass. Let me get the victory message. Victory. After years of relentless protests, 160,000 supporters applying pressure, celebrity outreach, and a lawsuit that settled in PETA's favor, we shut down UMass's cruel marmoset laboratory, ending experimenter Agnes Lacruz's reign of terror. Here's how we did it. Link in bio. So yeah, Guy, tell us how PETA is the worst. Let me get the screen. And I'm not going to name this stupid channel. And we'll just put this at 1.25. I don't know if I can react to this guy. Who knows? Who knows what we're allowed to do anymore? I don't even know. Thanks, Axel. I appreciate that. You're the #1 vegan for Cedar Point knowledge. How's the vegan food at Cedar Point? I certainly wasn't vegan when I went there. This was ages ago.
Done because today we all know that everybody loves animals. We've all got them, and we'd be devastated at the idea of anything happening to them, right?
My little fur baby.
This has been the case for thousands of years.
I already hate this video, stylistically.
In fact, some people care about animals so much that they devote their entire life's effort to protecting them. It's from this mission that organizations like PETA, or the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, was born. PETA's focus tends to be on animal testing, factory farming, fur farming, and other types of cruel treatment. Their core principle is the idea that animals do not belong to humans, and that
Why is he doing this all in a mocking tone? It's weird.
they should have their own rights as animals. Animals! You'd think people would be 100% on board with a group that simply wants the world to take better care of animals. But no, PETA has received a massive amount of vitriol from people, animal lovers or not, for their often controversial and chaotic tactics. So today, we're going to talk about all the wild things PETA has done over the years in the pursuit of grabbing the world's attention. We're also going to take a look into their many controversies to decide if they're doing more harm than good to the animal community that they've sworn to protect. So, without further ado, we're talking about PETA.
PETA? PETA?
Yeah, I like PETA. PETA, I don't know. I just see them. I think they throw paint on people and stuff. I do think there's some stuff like they say that sheep shearing is wrong. Word? Listen, factory farming's lame. Actually, it's more lame. It's pretty gay. Okay? Factory farming sucks. Mistreatment of animals is bad.
Okay, so we're off to a great start. He's admitting that 99% of the animal products are bad. Okay, we're already off to that, which is, I should say a good start, but that would make PETA the best, right? No.
But also, sorry, folks, animals aren't people. Don't know what I'm supposed to tell you. That being said, if you're a vegetarian or vegan and you think that you don't believe in.
Okay, first of all, animals are people, and you know that. It's semantics, right? You're hung up on the word people. We're more talking about the idea people, that an animal is someone. That's what people mean when they say animals are people.
Like killing and eating animals, more power to you, all right? But it shouldn't. You don't believe in like killing and eating animals, more power to you, all right? But it is what it is. That's my opinion. It is what it is.
Can your opinion be wrong?
It is what it is. I say things like that when I don't know what to say. It is what it is. It's like it's like filling space because I don't have anything to go there. It is what it is. Agree to disagree.
opinion can be wrong, but also it's just an opinion. So can it be wrong?
Yes.
It's a subjective thought.
Opinions can be wrong, and yours are wrong.
Damn, man. All right. PETA was created in 1980, led by animal rights advocates Ingrid Newkirk and Alex Pacheco?
Pacheco.
And Alex Pacheco. Ingrid pivoted from pursuing a life as a stockbroker to taking care of animals after finding a box of stray kittens and being revolted by the conditions of their nearby shelter. She started dating Alex, a passionate activist, and together they formed PETA. They also formed this. You should come with me. Also, I'm a rich stockbroker. He's like,
God, I hate channels like this so much. Doggo. Timeout, Doggo. I know he's not even here. Who's a mod? Put him in timeout. Put him in timeout.
touching by the
30-minute timeout for you, Doggo.
following year. They already had their first big victory. Alex went undercover at Silver Springs, Maryland primate research facility, only to take photos of the cruel conditions the monkeys were kept in. They discovered that the monkeys had clusters of nerves severed before being shocked, starved, and restrained for the purpose of neuroplasticity experiments, which is fucked up.
He looks cute.
Tell you what, that photo is haunting. I don't think we can show that photo, but it's a haunting photo. And Alex's photos led to a police raid and a researcher being convicted of animal cruelty charges for the first time in human history. 1981.
This is to tie it all back. This is part of the story from Free the Animals, the book we were talking about earlier. This is the precursor.
God damn.
Damn, took that long, huh?
That long. People were like, I don't give a fuck about animals. What followed was a lengthy custody battle over the monkeys that led to massive campaigns from politicians and celebrities urging for them to be safely released. Put them back in the jungle! So they're probably yelling. And then they thought about that for 1 second and they're just like, all right, on to the rest of my life. I'm sure they really gave a fuck what those monkeys did. Story like this put PETA on the map, making the animal rights movement more mainstream. And people liked them. They liked them. They would continue to expose companies for their cruel business practices, from cosmetics to pharmaceuticals to the auto industry using animals in crash tests.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the monkeys in Silver Spring were given back to the lab. And that's why Valerie went to the UK to learn how to bring Animal Liberation Front cells to America.
They're like, we had no idea what a crash dummy was at the time. It was the ostrich. We put the ostrich in the car to drive it into the wall at 140 miles an hour.
They would actually test humans before crash test dummies.
How are we supposed to know if it's good or not, Nick? Can you blame the people at Toyota for that? They would also sue these companies, often on behalf.
You're so right, Nil. Constant screen changes, constant sound effects. It is a generational thing, I'm pretty sure. Because a lot of those new channels or new-ish channels do this. But not us. Not us. We take our time. We slow it down. We put you on Ambien.
Of the animals themselves. We're bringing Chim Chim as lawyers. They're like, what? If there was an ostrich test dummy, you better believe that ostrich better be in court. You bring those animals to court, or they don't get in the representation they need. I want a full 7-foot tall ostrich with super long neck, a comedically long neck brace on. Look at him, Your Honor. He's just like, ah! A perfect example would be the famous.
I'm exhausted just thinking about the amount of work these types of videos must take. Just constant editing, edit this, edit that, just all to make a smorgasbord of shit. Like if I made this video and then I looked at the finished product, I might have to break my rule of putting out whatever I work on and be like, no, this ain't it. Not going with this.
Monkey selfie copyright dispute that started in 2011 after a monkey from Indonesia named Naruto grabbed a photographer's unattended camera and took several selfies that went absolutely viral. The photographer David Slater was angered to find out that the photo was placed in the public domain due to
I 100% agree with you, Nilf.
the author of them.
It's not just because I want you to feel better today and have a look at this one. The satisfying downfall of PETA, put out 2 months ago, and again today, PETA shut down a lab. So didn't happen. But thanks for the stupid video.
Not being human, which is fucking stupid. I'd be like, you took my camera.
PETA remains. Didn't fall down.
The monkey took my camera.
What are they talking about? The downfall of PETA. What is the downfall? Never mind. Maybe we'll have to look at that stupid video too.
Another sign from God that this was like, this is supposed to be my payday. What the fuck else is there?
You know what my conspiracy is? I think they just did that to the guy.
Fuck you, dude. Your stupid ass monkey selfie.
Because everyone's like, there's no way this monkey took the selfie.
Oh yeah, people are like, here, look at it.
Yeah.
Jim, look. He's like, oh. Looking down at it. Yeah, he took it and he did it. He took his own selfie.
My conspiracy is that like he's gonna have to admit the monkey didn't take the picture if he wants to win.
It's public domain because it's a monkey picture. God damn it. Which Pete has stepped in with a lawsuit on behalf of Naruto, demanding that all proceeds the viral image makes should be used to improve the monkeys community. Gonna build a nice monkey neighborhood. Look, he's like in a car. He has a hat and everything.
Oh, God damn. It's so grating. Oh, man. Like, if you knew these people, like, you'd be, get out of here. Like, go away. Damn it. I hate this so much. So, yeah, smear video for an organization trying to do good for animals. What a great choice. Yeah. Yeah. Great choice. What a good use of life.
Band on.
Shadow jutsu or something. In the end, the case was dropped and the court believed that PETA cared less about Naruto's legal rights.
I would like to just know the story of what it is. Whatever the shit is you're trying to tell us, let's hear that. Spare us the bullshit, please. It's not like you have like a live chat going that you have to talk to people. It's not that. You made this video, you edited it, you packaged it. We didn't need all this.
And more about turning attention to their organization. And regardless, David agreed to donate 25% of all future revenue made from the selfie to go to charities that will protect the habitat in Indonesia, which is nice. But to be fair, he got strong arm because also you don't want to be the guy who's like, oh yeah, you're the dickhead you're that selfie monkey guy. But you don't really care about monkeys, do you? He's like, God damn, dude, fine. 25% though.
He should just give it to Naruto.
He should have given anything. It's a picture of a monkey. Today's video is sponsored by our partners at Factor. Summertime is here and there's sober that are what? Like 30 part of the links code so much. They're still done, Nick. More absurd. For instance, PETA's because of this, the organization slowly started.
PETA sad.
Started to become the butt of jokes as their stunts became more and more absurd.
Okay, it's Tash. Isn't that Tash?
For instance, PETA's mini video game related
I just
slowly started to
assumed.
become the butt of jokes as their stunts became more and more absurd.
Looks like Tash, but yeah, I see the PETA logo, whatever. Yeah, Tash. Sorry, right on the screen. I was looking at her face. Tash Peterson, Australia's most notorious vegan, shocks shoppers and bloodied. Yeah, okay. Pretty sure that it's just a PETA banner. Like you can get PETA to give you things. That's one of the cool things about PETA, by the way. If you're an activist, hit them up. They will give you the materials for free if you can demonstrate that you're legit.
For instance, PETA's many video game related stunts. Did you know that PETA did video game stunts, Nick?
Yes, they were after Super Meat Boy.
PETA began focusing their efforts on heinous acts of,
which is smart. I've said this before, and I know I'm not the only one thinking it or saying it, but we are not in the gaming space like we should be. And tons of people play games.
seal clubbing that existed in Canada, which is regulated by the Department of Fisheries and Oceans, which there's nothing fun about seal clubbing.
It's a Canadian pastime.
It is a Canadian pastime, just like baseball is to America. But I do think, dare I say, clubbing a little baby seal is just a little sadder. Would you club a baby seal?
That's where I'm going to have to agree to disagree.
I could see you clubbing a baby seal, dude. I don't know. It's had to just look right for it.
No, I don't want to give fodder to the comments. They're going to...
In 2009, they announced
Who's
a protest.
that guy that we keep hearing from? PETA protest, baby seal clubbing. Good. Awesome. Like, is this a joke? That's badass.
Via World of Warcraft, in which people would band together to kill 4 members of the Horde that were killing baby seals in the Whisper Wind server.
Awesome. I love that.
Activism.
That's clever. I don't understand why they're hating. You, of all people, you. People were playing the game. Activism doesn't have to end at video games. Like, you can also do activism wherever you're, whatever, dude.
Activist gamers were given detailed instructions on how to join in on the event, which will be taking place at the Howling Fjord. There's no footage of the actual event, so it's unclear whether or not people cared enough to participate. Who cares? Is that a real thing? They actually were like, let's kill people in game. That's them living vicariously. They're like, they wish that they could shoot people in the street.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
take it to the game. The Horde's evil. In another stunt that got much more attention, PETA took shots at Nintendo's upcoming release of Super Mario 3D Land by creating a game called Super Tanuki Skin 2D. To criticize the use of the Tanuki suit, power-up.
I don't care. I don't hate this. I like the stunts. I think it's funny. Like that the whole point is to get the attention
In the game, because that's what's wrong with the world, is the Tanuki suit from the Mario game. They created their own in which you could play as a skinned raccoon dog. You have to dodge obstacles as you chase after Mario, who was flying above him wearing your blood-soaked fur. A bit more mature rated than I would say the standard Mario game. Has there ever been a rated T game for Mario? Is it always
Clutch my pearls. Oh no, they made a spoof of a Super Mario game and it had blood. Oh my god. The horror. Oh.
an E?
That's a good question.
I want to see Mario gets in. Put him in a T game. He's like, Peach, come here.
He sniffs his fingers.
Louisa, what do you think I just did, Louisa?
Mario, no.
Mario, come on,
It's
Mario.
stinky, Mario.
The scratch and sniff of Louisa. The webpage showcases a brutal video.
Okay, so they did that after. So that's their MO. And they're now going to criticize, and we know where they're going. They're going to criticize so they've already criticized the gaming stunts because there was blood, or because they just thought it was a stupid idea. They're going to criticize the sex stunt. Is that what they're going to do now after? Come on.
Video bringing awareness to the cruelty enacted on Tanuki, who are, quote, bludgeoned, hanged, and skinned alive for their fur, which is true, which is sad. But once again, people got to get warm, Nick. All right, good looking fur. What do you think? Would you wear Tanuki fur? It's just Tanuki fur scarf.
I think it'd be disrespectful not to wear it. The animal's dead now.
Kind of dead for no reason if you don't wear it now.
I wouldn't purchase one, but if someone handed it to me.
Well, I mean, I feel bad if you handed it to me. I'll do whatever you want with it. I'm not going to buy it. You're just cheap. I wouldn't buy the thing, but if you handed it to me, I'd use it gladly. Surprised at the angry army of Nintendo fans criticizing the stunt, PETA made a statement explaining that it was meant to be tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, no shit. Sorry. Oh yeah. Sorry. People lost their shit online. Man, that's never happened before. People got upset over something really silly. No, I don't believe you. Whatever your name is.
Big enough that Nintendo even made a statement after being accused of being pro-fur. Nintendo said this. Mario often takes the appearance of certain animals and objects in his games. Different forms that Mario takes make no statement beyond the games themselves. They're like, he's an Italian man in a tube world where he stomped on mushrooms. What are we doing with our time? And PETA did a very similar thing with Cooking Mama by creating a game called Cooking Mama. Mama Kills Animals, which aimed to bring attention to the high number.
He really hates that. PETA made video games. I think it's I wish they would just make awesome video games that people want to play. I don't hate that they make video games. We really need a banger video game, don't we? I mean, we need I wish Patrick Baboumian's game would come out on consoles. I wish it would come out, period. And I wish it would be a hit.
Turkeys being slaughtered every year on Thanksgiving. And in the game, you play as an angry-looking Cooking Mama as you cook a turkey dinner covered in blood and guts. Once completed, Mama has changed her heart and becomes vegan and shows you how to cook tofu turkey. Which, let me tell you, fucking old Mama got done doing a full Thanksgiving dinner. You think that bitch doesn't eat the bird? Yeah, right, dude. Also, I'll tell you what, aesthetically, nothing better than just a nice-looking turkey.
You think Cooking Mom's a trad wife?
Cooking Mom's a trad wife, and she sits on it, spits on it, and twists on it. She's a boppin'. In 2012, PETA continued criticizing Nintendo by making a game called Pokemon Black and Blue to make a statement about how Pokemon are treated like circus animals. The monsters in the game Pokemon are treated like circus animals. The digital monsters that are not physically real are treated like circus monsters. I digress. Stuffed in tight spaces and released purely to entertain their master at the risk of their own safety. And in the game, you play as Pikachu escaping the trainer and fighting a variety of comically evil humans, like a cleaver-wielding trainer wearing a coat made off Pokemon pelts. The game ends.
Okay, so how long are we just going to go through video games that PETA made that are funny to paint a picture like PETA is silly?
After you beat Ash Ketchum and inspire him to start an organization that spreads the message of compassion towards Pokemon. It's kind of funny.
Please, Ash, we're people too. Get the ball.
It's like claustrophobic nightmare. Also, I thought that the Pokeball was huge to them.
I don't know.
They get sucked inside. I thought that's supposed to be like
Doggo.
big.
It's like Capsule Corp technology, I think.
So yeah, they're probably tiny in there. It's like probably a big aloft.
Pikachu hates his Pokeball though.
Pikachu's also kind of a little dead, if you remember. No, I don't want to. I think I'll just walk around with you. Oh, cool. This king rat's gonna walk.
You'll see. You'll see, Nilf. Yeah, that debate, you'll see. It's I don't know I don't even know what to say. I'll be curious what y'all have to say about it, but it was something. It was
Everywhere. Thanks, Pikachu. Off. PETA has done far more than create crude flash games to get people's attention. Also, first off, that's a lot of games. How much money they got to make all these games?
They make them really cheap.
Could you also say, this is the actual question, a human who skins a animal and has done it since the beginning of time because back then you needed it to stay warm and stuff, and now it's become a trade and all that stuff. Is that not just a part of nature as well?
I would argue man is a part of nature. So yes.
Me clearing land and destroying habitats for McDonald's and stuff. That's just a part of nature, PETA. Sorry! Many of their methods are fruitless and silly, like the time they urged the Ben & Jerry's ice cream company to shift to using breast milk instead of cow's milk, which I also want to say this. The Ben & Jerry's dudes, I'm pretty sure they're super progressive. Didn't one of them just get kicked out of like a fucking Senate meeting or something like that?
Yeah, but they use dairy still, which is weird to me because they also have a ton of non-dairy. And they seem to have like already acknowledged how harmful dairy is. And they are progressive. And yet still they sell majority cow's milk shit, even though their non-dairy products are perfectly good. I mean, they're good. So yeah, but there's that whole, oh, if they're progressive, then they must be good, right? No, actually, we're finding that many progressives actually just don't really give a shit about much of anything other than looking like they care about things.
He was advocating against something? Put up the clip.
Ben, why are you getting arrested?
Move down the hall.
Congress
You will be arrested.
kills poor kids in Gaza by buying bombs and pays for it by kicking kids off Medicaid in the U.S.
Drive them away.
Do you agree with the breast milk?
I would. Oh, buddy. If Ben & Jerry started using breast milk instead of animal milk, oh man, you see me.
Yeah, in any videos that I release, I never say who they're with beforehand, just in case on the odd chance that something happens. I mean, this one I do already have uploaded. It's just waiting to go. But I don't want to spoil the suspense, I like the titillation. I like that I got you, Felix. I've got you by my hooks. You're just, who could it be? Who could it be? How bad did it get? Was it a career ender for Jeremy? We'll see. We'll see.
With a milk mustache every day, Nick. A frozen little milk mustache.
I did debate not releasing this one. I really did. So I'm still kind of two minds as whether or not it should have been uploaded, but I have this thing where if I've put a lot of time into something, and this one required some editing, and you'll see why.
Icicles coming off that deal. What would be the first breast milk flavor?
Probably vanilla. You want like
no, you need to spice up a little bit. I'm gonna say horchata first flavor.
Okay.
With breast milk.
So that's an odd. I've never heard of horchata ice cream.
No, that's what it's a first. Why has there never been a fucking horchata ice cream then, man? Because they need breast milk, unpasteurized breast milk. Also, whoever got milk, what woman got milk. This is a long segment. whatever woman got milk.
Yeah, I just. It occurred to me that I haven't been paying attention to this video for a long time, even though it's been playing.
I think that her name should be on it. Like, this is Michelle's. The women up in Idaho have good titty milk, dude. Would it be wrong to do a video on testing breast milk? How do we get breast milk?
Oh, you can get it off Craigslist.
You can get breast milk off Craigslist?
Facebook Marketplace.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, PETA, they suck. What? Or like the time PETA created a Super Bowl ad showing how being a vegan will make you last longer in bed. Make your dick harder. The ad, which is
that's an awesome ad. I don't know if I've seen it, but yeah, that's a great ad. I'm pretty sure they do it just about every year where PETA makes an ad for the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl just doesn't take it. They don't play the ad.
Now, Banned was essentially just 30 minutes of uninterrupted seconds of people overreacting having sex. You can try to play a little bit of it.
My ears would have perked up.
Yeah, that's what I say too.
Exactly.
I'm like a wolf. My ears perk up.
Oh, you mean PETA's good at getting your attention? Like, what is? I don't understand.
Moves like these ended up being pretty.
I don't understand this Pollyanna. Uh, PETA, what did you do? Like they literally were talking about. Well, you heard them.
Tame compared to some of the other stunts, like when they compared factory farms to concentration camps. PETA created an exhibition known as Holocaust on Your Plate in 2003. Each piece, which was placed all over the world, would showcase a harrowing image from the Holocaust juxtaposed with the conditions animals faced at factory farms. They would have a text on a plate that reads something like, "To animals, all people are not."
Your name is not Brian. I can confirm that much.
While PETA worked with Jewish groups for this project, many others were furious that they used the death of 6 million Jews to push their animal rights message. And PETA has the tendency to get pushed.
Yeah, don't worry. I didn't debate Brian. The other Brian. Or this Brian. It's not Brian.
Back for their bold and shocking claims they make. Another similar example was the time they claimed cow milk was a symbol of white supremacy. A blog post was posted to their website in 2017 titled "Why Cow's Milk is the Perfect Drink for White Supremacists." In it, they discussed the similarities between the dairy industry and white supremacists, namely that they both inflict extreme violence on other living beings. That's right, Nick, I'm a white supremacist.
Well, I wouldn't have said you are a white supremacist, but you are a supremacist. And it's a little disturbing to me that you've seen all this content. And he was just showing some PETA footage that had brutal content, and he still doesn't get it. So I don't know if you're a little stupid or a little callous or what, or if you just try to make a clickbait video or what it is, but yeah.
Clip that.
Hey, Nick, I had a bowl of white supremacist juice. I used white supremacist juice for my Cocoa Pebbles earlier. The post references scenes from Get Out and Inglourious Basterds, where the symbolism is also used. To continue down this strange and offensive path, let's talk about one of PETA's boldest moves to date.
Oh, that was offensive to you for them to point out that exploiting animals has ties to supremacy, white supremacy, as it's mostly known in the West. Like, usually, I think the reason why PETA did this is because when we talk about supremacy, it's usually associated with white supremacy. I don't know. But, like, it strikes me, I have to point out that your entire video thus far has not really grappled with the ethics of what they're talking about. The whole point, and we're more than halfway done with the video, so I wonder if we're going to get there. But so far, it's all been like, ooh, PETA did this. Oh, it hurt my little butthole. And Nilf's got a cream.
Dressing up as the KKK to protest a dog show. Get out of here, dog.
Based.
Dogs. Got the Westminster dog show.
I don't know why they did that. I have no idea. But knowing PETA, they had a good point.
Is an annual event that brings together purebred dogs from all over the world to compete in a variety of events. I will say it's very cute, even though some of them are genetic abominations. Like my dogs, Tugboat and Crawdad. They should not exist. Genetic anomalies.
Oh, yeah. Now let's see your dogs.
Them are genetic abominations. Like my dogs, Tugboat and Crawdad. They should.
Tugboat and Crawdad. I wonder whose side Tugboat and Crawdad are on. I wonder if Tugboat and Crawdad would be on your side in this video or on PETA's side in this video.
Should not exist. Genetic anomalies.
Did you see the genetic results from Tugboat?
He's the 100% best sound.
Well, he's also 18% inbred.
You're telling me my beautiful dog Tugboat is the love child of incest? PETA has long since criticized the practice of breeding dogs as they greatly discourages shelter dogs from being adopted. To push this message harder, 2 members showed up.
Yo, what's up? Oh, nice. I'm being featured on. Oh, I got it. I'm featured on Axel's stream. That's cool. What's up, Axel's audience? Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Make sure you're subbed to Axel. Did I say Alex? Axel. Make sure you're subbed to Axel. And yeah, tell him and thank you. Thank you, Axel. That's cool.
To the event dressed in Ku Klux Klan outfits. They handed out pamphlets showing
What's up, David? How are you doing?
the similarities to American Kennel Club and the KKK, focusing on their obsession with pure bloodlines. Of course, many people found this incredibly inappropriate, something PETA was well aware of and clearly utilized to force people to pay attention to them. While most of these campaigns seem to be targeted at adults, there are a few that are focused on influencing younger generations. This was certainly the case.
Oh no, we wouldn't want to teach kids that being nice to animals is wrong, right? Do you think the meat industry markets to kids, dumbass?
Happy Meal stud. Right, the Unhappy Meal does kind of go hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a cool collector's item.
That is sick. Ronald with a knife. And is it just a knife in both, or is it a gun?
Yeah, that's awesome. PETA.
He's got like a chicken in his other
You've
hand.
done it again. I love you even more. The more I learn about PETA, the more I like.
Ronald with a knife goes hard. If they ever made a statue, let me know. I've been collecting McDonald's statues for a while. I need that one, and I will kill an animal for it, and I will drink milk.
Breast or milk?
Horchata, Ben & Jerry's. In 2009, PETA wanted to spread the message about the horrible methods McDonald's used to mass slaughter chickens for their products. To raise concern for their harmful practices, they stood outside of McDonald's locations and handed out something they referred to as unhappy meals. It was a f***ed up version of a Happy Meal, completed with a demented knife-wielding version of rum.
Okay. Your butt's hurting again? What's the problem, dude? Why did you make this video? God, you're such a what's the word? I don't even know. It's like I want to call him a Karen, kind of, but he's not quite a Karen. He's kind of a Karen, though. He'd be like going in to talk to the manager. They're out there with their unhappy meals, and some kids saw it.
McDonald's. It's fucking metal. It's awesome. They were primarily handing them out to children who were horrified after opening the wrapping to find a plastic chicken covered in fake blood.
Oh no. The kids learned that their chicken nuggets, their little happy chicken nuggets, came from a living animal. Man, I wish that had happened to me when I was a kid. I mean, I knew it, but I wish I had, gotten, like that kind of like face hitting the wall moment. Or that sledgehammer moment.
Parents were outraged, and McDonald's made a statement claiming that the cruel conditions that they are referring to are overblown. Not really. They're like, whatever. Did like 6 chickens in like one little cage.
So now you're admitting it. So it's even worse. The reality is worse than they even showed. So now you admit it. So again, what's the problem, dude? And nobody tell me his name. I don't care. I don't want to know it. There are some things that are better off not being known.
You know what I mean? That's why they.
I don't want to.
Also, I thought back then they used a pink slime, and now they use chicken. Remember that? That was like the big thing.
I think they still use pink slime.
I don't think so, because people complained that the chicken nuggets back in the day when it was no meat. Because that was the thing. People were like, "What kind of animal is this?" And they're like, and it's like fucking like insulation or something like that. It's like horse meat and fucking like bleach and bile.
That's what people think their burgers are made out of now.
Well, now it's beef, but they're like, go back to the pink.
There's like a conspiracy on the beef. They're like saying that.
Oh, it's horse meat?
Well, no, it's like, oh,
spit it out, Nick.
McDonald's made a company called 100% Beef, and that's why when it says made with 100% beef, they can point be like, we made that company, but it's all made up, and people are just spreading bullshit.
Good. Go whatever it was back in the day. Go back to that. I don't give. Call it 110% real beef. For all I give a. Bring it back, dude. With that said, McDonald's eventually caved in 2017 and stated that they would commit to advancing the welfare of their chickens.
Oh, you mean PETA was successful in as they often are? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah,
it worked.
Also, it took them what 8 years. All right, fine. Pink stuff is too good. People are loving it too much. We'll go back to regular chickens. This wasn't a total victory for PETA, as it appears that the McDonald's supplier had all the way until 2024 to comply with their new standards. And not only that, but it would only apply to 70% of their chicken suppliers. Sorry to that.
I hate that people can't critically think anymore. So if this guy could just use his brain and think, but this is not happening. It's not happening. You would point out, so if you're a smart guy, you'd point out that PETA was successful in a limited way, meaning that there needs to be more of what they're doing, not less. The fact that they got something done is a tiny win, but you're pointing out a frustration with animal activists, including PETA, by the way. And I saw this heartbreaking quote from Ingrid. It was like one of the hard, like honestly, it summed it up. It was just it's just the way she said it. It choked me up a little. She's like, we're trying our best to get people to wake up. Like, and it was just the way, I don't know why it stuck with me. It's a very minimal comment, I guess, but it's just the way she said it. And it just kind of expressed not only the sentiment of activists, but also the frustration and despair that activists feel that we can't get this done faster. And you know, it would be nice if somebody with millions of subscribers didn't spend his time making anti-vegan, anti-PETA hit pieces, and instead used his audience, I mean, his platform to engage and inform his audience in a way that they might make positive change. But no, you couldn't do that, could you? God, what I wouldn't give to have millions of subscribers where I knew I could influence, like at a minimum, like at the smallest minimum, 10,000 people by shitting out a video, which is what this guy did. I mean, look, it took a lot of editing, but this is shit. This is a shit video. It took a lot of work, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, guys. I'm so annoyed with this guy. And again, it's his doggo's fault.
Last 30. Yeah, they're like, it's freedom, better living conditions. And the farmer's just like, not you.
Actually, I don't even hate though, because I'm glad we're watching this video just to see how people are wasting their lives and their clout. Because when you achieve clout, you should use it. You know, even before I went vegan, I was watching that show, Hot Ones, that YouTube show. And I was noticing that a lot of people would go on there, and I don't remember which celebrities I was watching. It was probably like Ricky Gervais. He did it. Other people did it, where they would go and they would get the vegan hot wings and some almond milk or something. And I was thinking before I was vegan that that's what I would do if I was on Hot Ones. And this is before I was vegan, just to set an example. Because by that time, I guess I knew I had heard some BBC story about the environmental impact. So I was still very far off. This wasn't that long before going vegan, because I remember hearing the BBC story probably within a year by the time I went vegan. I don't consider it part of my story though, but I probably should actually, because it is one of the reasons why I started to be like, I'll flirt with vegetarianism here and there. And that's what ended up leading to the conversation that I had with the vegan woman who told me to watch Earthlings, and the Earthlings was the sledgehammer.
Oh, shuts it.
Game over.
Right, let me check. I have not been paying attention to the chat. Sorry, my bad. My bad. Okay, let me catch up. Busy all weekend, 40-year-old. Okay, good. Nobody addressed anything to me. You guys have been talking amongst yourselves. You knew I was on my soapbox, and it was going to take a while, right? You guys were like, "Oh God, here's one of them moments." Guess we'll wait until Jeremy shuts up so we can continue with the video.
PETA is known to use gruesome imagery and phrases to shock people into listening to what they have to say.
Yeah, and again, you've already acknowledged that the reality is more shocking than what they show.
But it doesn't stop there. At times, they've even directly harassed their enemies publicly in order to make headlines. The ASPCA, or the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals,
Who, by the way, at one point when I checked the ASPCA website, they had fucking it was just like Cowspiracy. They had fucking recipes for meat on their website.
It's a
fuck the ASPCA. No, go fuck yourself.
surprisingly an enemy of PETA. What?
Yeah.
This is mainly.
Yes. They were promoting meat on their fucking website, dude. They are not a friend.
due to their endorsements of the Global Animal Partnership Organization, which aims to improve the conditions of animal agriculture. Why that would be an enemy, I'm not sure. Let me put up a little blurb here. Hope you pause to read it. PETA claims that using
Wait,
labels,
let's read
why
it.
that would be an
I would
enemy,
like to
I'm
read
not
that.
sure. Let me put up a little blurb here.
Okay. The protests stem from PETA's opposition to ASPCA's endorsement of Global Animal Partnership, GAP certifications for factory farms. You can't figure this out, dude? You can't figure that out? That to me is so easy to understand. PETA alleges that labels such as animal welfare certified mislead consumers into believing animals are treated humanely, even when evidence, it's literally written right there, dumbass. You're acting like you're confused as to why they wouldn't be partnered. It's literally written on this screen. I didn't have to go digging. I'm watching your video and I paused it. The thing that you put up on the screen, it explains it perfectly. Dumbass. So this guy also would have been upset that Animal Rising did their RSPCA investigation. He'd be like, "What? That makes no sense. Oh my God. Why would they do that? The RSPCA is their friend." Dumbass.
Hope you pause to read it. PETA claims that using labels on the products like animal welfare certified go against the evidence of animal cruelty in the GAP's facilities. The ASPCA refused to take their stamp of approval off of it, claiming PETA has no interest in building a more humane farming system. This ain't.
Or could it be that they were trying to expose a scam? Pretty sure that most people, and again, there are people, not I always say again, by the way, I'm noticing that I use that phrase too much. But anyway, PETA is not a one size fits all. There are a lot of people who work at PETA. And I'm guessing that a lot of the people at PETA will cheer for certain reforms. And I know that there is some evidence, like we were just doing the Prop 12 thing, and it on the Wikipedia page anyway, it did say that PETA was opposed to Prop 12 because it didn't go far enough. Okay, well, maybe they do it. Maybe they oppose welfare reforms. I just wish this guy could think a little bit more about his videos before he puts them out, knowing that they could have consequences. And I honestly don't think this guy, even though he has millions of followers, I don't think this is an impactful video. I don't think it's really changing hearts or minds about PETA. It's just kind of dumb. If anybody were to watch it, I don't know. I mean, it's been seen by a lot of people. We'll check after.
PETA. So much that they brought a truck full of manure to dump on their building's doorstep. They reached their headquarters and raised the dump truck, only to find that the frigid air had frozen the manure to the vehicle. And in a panic, one protester started scraping the frozen manure onto the ground to get a big enough pot.
L PETA that time. What can you do? It froze.
Kind of funny though, a bunch of frozen turds. The whole process took so long that the police eventually intervened and arrested both the driver and the man trying to shovel the frozen poop. In the end, only a minuscule amount was only able to be dumped. But this is nothing compared to the backlash received during some of PETA's biggest controversies. When PETA concocts a gripping headline to shock onlookers, sometimes they resort to straight up misleading people. In 2014, the group released a billboard that read, quote, "As your child got autism, learn about the link between autism and dairy products on PETA.org.
Well, oh, where's the misleading information?
And I will say the sad face on the got autism thing is just like, oh, dang it, I got autism. According to PETA, this was them earnestly trying to alert the public. Of course, their cited research that claimed that autism is linked to the dairy consumption was outdated and not credible enough to advertise so boldly. People are enraged about this irresponsible ad, which only seemed to further the idea that PETA will use scare tactics if it means bringing people over to the animal side. In another instance of misinformation, PETA started heavily protesting and advertising against the wool industry and the shearing of sheep, calling it inhumane. This stance was based on an undercover investigation that led to the release of graphic videos in which sheep were brutally mistreated and killed for production of
Yeah, it looks pretty inhumane to me.
wool. PETA claimed that there was no way to provide wool ethically, which caused many farmers and wool producers to lash out. And according to them, they picked the most horrific cases and portrayed them as the norm. Many people in the industry claim that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just so isolated that, it just never happens. Well, okay, let me even grant you that. It happens. And it happened once, that's not okay. And obviously it happens systemically. It's the point that they're making. These are commodities. These animals are being used as commodities. They don't care. Dude, they don't care. They want the money. Why is it so hard to understand? Just like you, dude. You want the money from this video. That's why you shat this video out. You want the money. You don't care who you're hurting.
They love their animals and invest lots of time and money to make sure people sharing their wool are gentle, going so far to quickly fire people who accidentally injure them in the process more than once.
So you just admitted that they had people injuring the animals more than once. Oh, thinking's hard.
And not only that, but it's considered inhumane not to shear the wool off sheep due to it aiding and regulating their body temperature, among other benefits. You ever see a sheep that just got sheared? You see them run around the field afterwards,
happy as fuck.
Those motherfuckers love that. They're like, thank God. You took too long this time, bitch. One farmer named Nelson claimed that what PETA said was a gross misrepresentation and was disappointed to find out that their actions ended up causing some wool producers to lose out on partnerships with big brands like Patagonia, which I'm sure
Good. Fuck you.
for some is like, keep your business afloat, keeps people that work for you, all that kind of stuff. But the craziest controversy PETA had ever gotten into was regarding their animal shelters. PETA has been criticized for years now regarding the enormous number of animals they've euthanized from their shelters they operate. Those motherfuckers love to kill animals. In 2005, the New York Times.
Yeah, I've heard this a lot. Like, so this is the one that's, to me, I don't know. Okay, I don't run an animal shelter. I don't know. PETA doesn't run no-kill shelters, from what I understand. You know, if PETA wanted to separate themselves from this issue, maybe they just shouldn't run shelters. But let's hear how he handles this.
Blasted them for having 80% of their sheltered animals put down when they could have been adopted by families. 80%! The article continues.
Well, could they have been adopted by families? Because I think that would be in PETA's interest.
To lambaste them for making nearly $30 million the previous year, believing that this money is being funneled into aggressive spectacle campaigns pushing veganism rather than being used to help the animals that they supposedly care so much about. It's normal for a shelter to euthanize animals.
Yeah, it's quite a claim to say that PETA doesn't care about the animals. They're just all about the Benjamins, right? Yeah. Okay.
They can only take care of so many, and depending on how old they are, all that kind of shit. It's sad, but it's just the reality of shit. The issue is that PETA seems to
You know, the contrast of seeing videos like this and just seeing like that Dan guy on the last podcast who was like, just so elegant, having like Alka on my podcast. I wish like people would just pay attention more to the people who work there and not like videos like this. Tessa Saves, what's up? Jeffrey, how you doing? Nice to see you. Jeffrey, nice job with Gary. I haven't finished the video yet, but I watched like a good 30 minutes of it so far. I don't know who this guy is, Jeffrey, but this is someone that Doggo recommended, made this video. So we're checking it out. It's awful. But yeah, he's shitting on PETA, which is, I guess easy if you're someone who can't think very much. Allie, and you do PETA tables? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've done PETA tables. Like you can call up PETA and or email them, and they will give you like I told Alka, like there was a Pride event not too far from where I was at the time, and my friends were running it. They wanted to do the Pride event. They were running it, and they're vegan. And this is in a rural area. And a buddy and me were like, well, we should let's try to, they're vegan. They're like serving like vegan hot dogs and stuff. Let's see if they'll let us like do a table for the animals. And they were like, fuck yeah, bring it. Do the table. So I contacted PETA and I said, do you have any Pride related materials? And so within like hours, maybe within an hour, someone was on the phone with me asking me my shirt size, asking me how many t-shirts did I want, asking me how, like, I got so much shit. I still got it. I still got more because they sent me so much stuff for free. All you had to do was like, be credible, like that, so they didn't think you were just going to waste it. And then, yeah, we went out to that Pride event, did a nice PETA table. had all kinds of stickers and goodies and all kinds of shit, and it was great. So we hit a rural area with some animal rights stuff with a gay pride theme. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough.
Them at a rate of 3 times higher than the others, doing their best to hide these numbers from the public. In 2011, 713 of their 760 dogs admitted to their shelter were euthanized. 713 out of 760. We have no room. Then why take them? For cats, a staggering 1,198 were put down, and only 5 cats found new homes.
I think part of them were like,
Yeah. So, why do you think they took them?
it's probably better if they just died.
You don't want to go to the evil people.
Exactly.
Yeah, a place like PETA, you gotta have like a form that you fill out to be like, we trust you with this animal. There's no good human, just die, kitty. Many of them are killed in less than 24 hours from when they arrive. PETA claims that this is just the cruel reality of not having enough homes for the large number of animals that enter their doors. They also claim that their high death rates.
It might be. I'm not saying PETA is infallible, okay? And I shouldn't, like, let me not give that impression. Maybe PETA fucks up sometimes, okay? But you're going to tell me, dude, that the people who dedicate their lives to the animals maybe don't have a point about that? You don't think it may be agonizing for them? You don't think that maybe they're trying to help with a problem that is so massive? I don't know. Like, I wish I knew more about this topic, that I could speak about it intelligently. But I mean, considering like how this video has gone, it sounds like this guy is just like all kinds of butthurt that PETA made video games and that they had some clever Super Bowl commercial that was just a little too sexual for him. This is if you had wanted to make a video, we're on the point that you could have made, and you waited till the end. I mean, this is to me, this is a valid debate topic right here. But again, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the people of PETA want animals to be alive and not suffering.
Are because of their willingness to accept animals no matter how poor their condition. This doesn't stack up, especially when other shelters in the same state with the same admission policies are doing a far, far better job. Ingrid Newkirk, the co-founder of PETA, has admitted before that they have put down animals that were perfectly adoptable. Couldn't have been a healthier dog. We
say again.
Are doing a far, far better job. Ingrid Newkirk, the co-founder of PETA, has admitted before that they have put down animals that were perfectly adoptable.
So, okay, so I thought that this would be a serious quote.
Better job.
Let's hear
Ingrid
what
Newkirk, the co-founder of PETA, has admitted before that they have put down animals that were perfectly adoptable.
Right. You don't understand what she meant? She's saying that they didn't have enough people adopting the animals, you dumbass. All of them are adoptable.
Couldn't have been a healthier dog. We put him down. Bye-bye, doggy.
I'm amazed at how brain dead this take is. Because the thing is, like, this really is this whole section right here could have been a valid video to make. But to not understand what Ingrid just said, it's just, I don't know if you're feigning stupid or what.
Even in 2022, PETA still continues to have shockingly high kill rates. In fact, they have a higher kill rate of euthanasia than all shelters in the entire Commonwealth of Virginia combined. Graphic.
Could that be because they're the ones running the shelters? Could it be?
There you go. Some that are more conspiratorial believe that they are purposely putting down perfectly adoptable pets because they believe it is a necessary evil. Ingrid Newkirk has stated as far back as 1988, saying that, in the end, I think it would be lovely if we stopped the whole notion of pets altogether. So that's
Yeah.
What you're saying, that's what you mean. You don't want to be a slave. Just die. It's because of this that people think members of PETA and their shelters would rather prematurely put down animals rather than put them in a potentially non-ideal adoption scenario. To this, people argue that they are elitist and are unfit to be arbiters of who is qualified to take care of an animal. When people think about PETA, there's one story that undoubtedly comes to mind as the most blood-boiling instance in their long, controversial history. In 2014, 2 PETA employees stole a Chihuahua from the porch of the Zarate family's mobile home. The dog, Maya, was a Christmas gift Wilbur Zarate had given to his daughter, Cynthia, in 2011. They were there after reports of a large number of stray dogs roaming the area. They arrived to transport them to their shelter and mistakenly took Maya as well. Maya was put down that same day, disregarding the typical 5-day grace period that is required by law in Virginia. PETA claimed it to be a tragic mistake, firing the employee responsible. The Zarates were also convinced that they did this on purpose due to their previous stance on humans owning pets. Regardless, a trial was held at which PETA offered them $49,000 on top of a $2,000 donation to an anti-animal cruelty organization in Maya's honor. PETA
I'm not going to defend that. It sucks. But it obviously was a mistake.
wanted to avoid any extra bad publicity that would come from this becoming a lengthy court battle. Luckily for them, the Zarates accepted the settlement. Listen, it goes without saying that many of the things PETA is fighting for are completely reasonable things. In the pursuit of animal-derived materials, we have subjected animals to nightmarish conditions. You know, it's just there is a lot of cruelty out there in the service of living creatures. It's a bummer. PETA has done a lot.
Do better.
For animal rights, from the reduction of fur coat productions to bringing awareness to the dangers of animal testing. I mean, there is good stuff. But that being said, PETA is certainly not the most squeaky clean organization out there. On their way to spreading their message, they have harassed many people and potentially done tons of harms to various groups they swore to protect. It's the fact that it's like, you're advocating for so many things. I'm like, oh, I agree. But it's weird too when it feels like you care more about getting your name out there and having a profitable charity organization than actually helping the animals. It's just a bit hypocritical, it feels like, right?
Dude, okay, so do you want to run an organization where you don't have some level of need to self-promote your organization? Do you never promote your own YouTube channel? Is that how you got how many? 3.05 million subscribers watch this shit. 58,000 likes, 1.2 million views for this dumbass video. 1.2 million views. I take back what I said. This caused massive harm. Massive harm. I thought it'd be like 100,000 or something, like watch this. 1.2 mil? Jesus Christ. Do your fucking research next time.
I agree. And also, I think a lot of this stuff is just showboaty. It's people wanting power, people wanting to like point at you until you're doing the wrong thing.
Says that you've got. Okay, I'm so fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. Hang on. Let me show this. Let me show you. Fucking douchebag. PETA. Fucking idiot. Look at this. 1.35 million subscribers to PETA. They have 1/3 the audience that you have, dumbass. 1/3. Look at this. Look at this video. 25,000 views, 12,000 views, 10,000 views, where they had like all these people risking themselves, getting this footage. And this is what they managed. 6K, 27K, 11K, 10K, 5.6. Your fucking video pulled 1.2 million and counting. Fuck you. Guess we'll leave it at that, guys. Fuck that guy. Jesus. All right. 6 people on our stream. And that's better. You know what? Because we got 6 of the best people. 6 of the best. We got Tessa Sace. We got David. We got Brian Nilf. We got Felix. We had Lewis. I don't know if Lewis is still around, to be honest. Had Jeffrey. I don't know if he's still around. I feel like I saved. I feel like I said 5 people already. So I count y'all better. Jeffrey's here. Yes. Jeffrey's still here. So we even got Jeffrey. I wouldn't trade you 6 for those 1.2 million. Not in a heartbeat. No chance. No chance. No chance. It pissed me off though, honestly. That to have that much power to make a video And God, it was so obnoxious. Even taking away the message, such an obnoxious, annoying, dumbass video. Then to couple that with the fucking Pollyanna, just PETA is making video games with blood. They're handing out things to the people who are shopping at McDonald's, and little kids are seeing it. Yeah. And they made a video about sex. Yeah. His video was so sexual right after that. So sexual. All right, Nilf, do you feel any better? I know I didn't help you. I didn't help you, Nilf. Go watch To the Grave. Go listen to the Grave. That'll put you to sleep nicely. That's a nice lullaby to make you go to sleep. God, I wish I could just stream that. I don't think it's allowed. There's no way that's allowed. So Doggo's banned from my channel now. Not even a timeout, just a straight up ban. You heard that, Doggo? He recommended us that video. Unforgivable. I'm just kidding, though. Thank you for the recommendation, Doggo. That was painful, but I guess we needed to see it, right? We helped him out, though. 1.2 million and 1 views. Thanks to we just watched it. Shit. No ads, though. No ads played. He didn't get any ad revenue from us. All right, let's tally up the numbers on you guys. I bet Nilf, who probably just went to bed, is number 1 because he's been here for the duration, I feel like. But we better find out who won. No Mary. What happened? Oh my God. That's not like Mary. I'm wrong. Nilf did get in the top 3. He's number 2. No ties this time. Number 3, Alicia. I think she's been gone for a while. Alicia, you did it. You got in the top 3. Nilf, top 2. But the unequivocal winner today is none other than Felix. Felix, you did it. It's not even your first win. You've won this multiple times now, and I feel like you're going to get a little bit cocky now. Let's hope that Felix doesn't change now that he's reached the big time. I just hope you'll remember us, Felix. Just hope you'll remember us. Yeah, check out Jeffrey's interview with Gary. And make sure you sub to his channel while you're at it. And 40-year-old vegan, sub to 40-year-old vegan. He's been out there. He's been out there at slaughterhouses, and you know what you did. You know what you did, Felix. You kicked ass and you took names. That's how you did it. But Mary not being here, that did make it a little easier. That's like you won Wimbledon, but Djokovic was injured. Did you really win Wimbledon then? No, you didn't. Who won it? Sinner? Yeah, Sinner. You didn't. You beat Djokovic, but he had hurt himself, okay? You didn't beat him. Okay. Yeah, a lot of channels. A lot of channels. Okay, guys. I'm going to end it here, but check out my debate tomorrow. It's the first debate on my channel. First, actual debate. I mean, I've debated some with the people in the chat here and there, but this is an actual debate, so check it out. At the very least, I think you'll get some chuckles out of it. Hopefully, anyway. All right. Well, have a good night, guys. Thanks for being here, Tessa. I haven't seen you in a little bit either. but I have seen your name before. So thanks for coming back. If you're not subbed to the channel, please do hit the like button, the subscribe button, and all the buttons. If there's more buttons that I don't know about, hit them. And if you want to, never mind. Okay. Good night. Good night, everybody. Good night. Wait. Okay. Good night. Felix, well done. You inspire me.